Oh yeah, yeah. can't help it. This is the Simpit. This is Michi Hoyer from ACR Zakspeed, and we are live for the final 3 hours, actually for the final 2 hours and 40 minutes of the AOR 24-hour race. I've tuned into the actual stream because, sadly, there is a problem with the stream of Ross Woodford. However, in the LMP2 class, we are sitting in second position, still having chances to win that race. And in the GTE class, I do believe we're still leading that race. Let me have a quick check.
Ross Woodford getting to grips with the machine.
We are, yeah, currently, no, we're currently in second position there as well. So cars are driven by JLP tyres on the GTE and Ross Woodford here in the LMP2 car. And I'm already sorry to you guys if I might be a bit sluggish, a bit brain dead whatsoever. I'm alive for over 25 hours. We have done a fair amount of racing and now it's crunch time. So we're gonna bring out the engineering a little bit to you. And I hope everything is working alright in the technical area.
I just want to interrupt to let you know that by the looks of things, ACR car is back in the fight in terms of the damage. Top speed is back to normal.
Really?
Okay, there you go.
So
really?
They're not losing time in the straights anymore. So their car. Okay. Yeah. Just letting you know.
Well, yeah. Well, what we might do is we might drag this person in, and then we'll do a little bit of an interview, and they might just finish the stint. We'll check. Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
So Ross, you're back on full speed.
Yep.
Crunch time then.
Yeah, let's go.
Obviously, driving, and you've now handed over.
Right. So what has happened here is we've had just
no flat spots. Let's go.
major issue with the car itself. So we were lacking a few sort of kph on the Musland straights. Apparently, it seems that issue has been fixed by itself, by some resetting, by handing over the car. We've heard a lot of issues have been with handing over the cars and actual damage got worse or damage got better, whatever. The main fact is though, Ross Woodford has full power on the car, has 1 minute and 38 seconds of gap, as you can see up right here. We got 2:37 to go and he will bring the car into the finish. And we're gonna take care of that from an engineering point of view. So whatever is going on outside, let us know. If you have any questions, just shoot them in here. We all gonna answer them. That is for sure. So
position-wise, or do you think that might be the final position?
Stuff is working very well there.
I think this will be the final position. We still have 2.5 hours to go, but I think if we want to gain a position, something has to happen.
Need to get back up the sheet because now it's very essential where the actual car will finish in terms of lap times, amount of laps to cover within 2 hours 36.
That was me in the car actually.
And
okay.
So
what happened? What happened there?
Yeah, the whole game stalled. And when it came back from the freeze, my steering
because now it's very essential.
Connect everything, start up the wheel again, reconnect all the wires 2 times, and then we got it back to working again. We could carry on.
Yes, George Weissman. Actually, we're back in business.
Difficulties there that you had to overcome to keep the car in the race. We were surprised that you
and apparently the chat is not working everywhere, so we're going to work around that. That's for sure.
Yeah, we were saying we were thinking about exiting, but we thought, well, we're so far in the race, just put the car on a safe place and then see if we can fix the issue. But it was
it's going to be a bit of a stress now. That's for sure.
Circumstance, yeah, it was pretty hard.
Well done on your stint. Hopefully the team can get the car to the end of the race.
And I also gonna show you in a very short moment
thank you for organizing.
how we're working here
it's
right
a great
now.
Event. Let's hope that we can get a series going or something. That would be great.
So as you guys know, that there is a big live timing that is out on the server. We're gonna basically use that.
There you go. So the Pickle Whipple team in pretty good shape. Currently 10.
We're not just gonna use that. We also are gonna put this silent for a minute. We have an Excel sheet which is telling us exactly what is going on right now. Here you can see the stuff. So we plan to go. Well, I don't tell what we plan yet. You will find out during the show. And obviously, if I tell you what we're planning right there, I've got a fair amount of issues with the competitors. So hence why we keep that some sort of secret at the minute.
On lower fuel, most likely. Yeah.
And
they're completely out of sync. So it's, to be honest with you, it might depend on what it falls for in terms of who's got. What you might have one team that's going to have to come in and do a splash and dash, and that could honestly be the difference at this point in time. We obviously don't know the situation in terms of tires, if they're okay in terms of taking tires, or even if they'll have to come in and take tires.
Very good lap time, Ross, there.
By themselves.
Currently,
4 tires is
there is a car entering Muslan Straight
it's not combined, so that's 30
at the minute.
seconds, and then if
Other than that,
fuel, it's 30 plus 26
no,
seconds, and then 5 to 6
no traffic
seconds for a driver change. So
okay, and I think Vulcan as well. We're having 12-second driver changes for some reason. Their driver swap seems to be a little bit longer than some of the other teams, so that may also.
I got massively held up
at the fact that they're going to do 2 driver changes well before the end of this race. With Kean White's going to get in the car, and Evan Rice is going to get in the car to finish the race. So we shall see.
Yeah, I'm gonna also need to take care of the GT cars there without an engineer as well at the minute.
Also because we're approaching
okay, yeah,
the 2.5 hour mark left in this race. Here at the Apex Online Racing rFactor 2 24-hour Le Mans, as Rohi gets into the car currently in P12. It's the broken windshield, or the smashed windscreen team, pulling out of the pit lane, taking over from Sten Ambus.
it's interesting that Phil stayed in the car the last time around. Keane was supposedly jumping in. Well, that's what he said anyway, unless he meant this next stint. Phil's drove a lot.
So guys, feel free to chat.
I mean, I don't even think he planned
I'm gonna
on doing this.
be able to talk to you guys fairly soon.
Obviously, because VD
Need to fiddle around everything.
The
Are
issue,
we all right?
as we spoke about before, with the driver swap AI glitch. It's actually
right. It seems like that restream chat does not work at all, sadly, but can't really do anything about. Oh, wait a minute. I think I can do something about that.
Yep.
I mean, why not? If he's
Let me
down for
see.
it, then
Just
why
might
not?
have a little bit of a
that's the whole spirit of the event.
brain
I guess.
fart at the minute.
You got to get your fastest drivers in.
Bear
for the
with
longest
me.
period of time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important for them to
Bear with me.
try and maximise the pace. Obviously, with Evan Rice being the faster driver compared to
That's
White,
even
so
worse.
probably want to have Evan in for longer than
That didn't
Kean,
really work at all.
especially
Anyway, so guys,
sometimes we're keeping the car on the road as Michael Wilson.
As we said,
I think they're going to be coming in for a driver change soon.
it's crunch time. Ross just reported he think that Philip is going to come to the pits fairly soon. Wait a minute.
Time-wise, Ross is losing a couple of seconds, obviously with Phil on lighter fuel. It's going to sort of...
I actually need to
maybe
see
any pace
what kind of
difference,
lap we're on. I expect them to
might be
be
a lot
coming in
closer
at
than
lap
normal to the
359.
If Phil, we've got to see
That's
if
when
Phil
they
goes
should
into the
box
pits
for
sometime soon.
probably driver and tyres.
Well, yeah, we've got 2 hours, 30 minutes and 45 seconds before we...
It's on a really good lap and we got shafted Porsche cars.
So time will be getting tight for the 5-man Vulcan squad.
Yeah, never mind. I tried to keep you a bit better updated about traffic. Jack, can you help me there? Probably.
Yo, I'm here.
We can now see there Philip Crash heading onto the Mulsanne Straight, down towards the second Mulsanne chicane.
Could you watch out a little bit for traffic?
Can do, yes. Where's load time?
Faster than Ross Woodford in the first sector alone.
Coming.
Ross Woodford now crosses the line, and we'll see
I know
what
that's what
lap
she
time
said.
he's done.
Are you in the general?
Compared to Philip Krause's previous time of a 31.4. So Philip Krause got a bit of pace in comparison to Ross Woodford. Ross still getting up to speed with the car. Obviously, will probably inherit the lead with a couple of Vulcan pit stops. Two at the, we're thinking maybe two, maybe three at most pit stops for Vulcan before the end of the race. So if Ross Woodford can do maybe two pit stops and save time with the lack of driver changes, that means that ACR should be able to close the gap, you would imagine.
So Ross, I do believe. What is the actual gap saying on your dash? Is it a minute?
1:24.3.
1:24.3. I do believe, due to pit stops and everything, we gain
obviously as well as
35
tires,
seconds.
because obviously they need to take an extra set of tires.
No, 10 seconds because we need to box for tires as well.
Then that'll be the difference at this point.
Yeah, you need to push hard and apply pressure.
That's what I'm doing.
Now though, he's starting to get up to pace. Considering he's on the heavier fuel, only 2/10 slower than Philip in the first sector that lap around, and Philip's on the end of his stint.
So we now see Ross Woodford in the ACR car, lapping some GTs, and I've noticed he's quite aggressive with his overtaking, his lapping technique compared to a lot of other GTs. Soon as he gets past the GT, he really cuts back across in front of them to get back on the racing line as soon as possible. So be interesting. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him later on in the latter stages of the race, maybe with some...
Between you and the Mulsanne Straight, you've only got two GTs.
He's not mucking about, is Ross Woodford. He's actually coming up to an LMP car to lap. I believe it's the Royal Blue car, P4 at the moment.
Right, so bear with me, guys.
See now if he can lap this car
I need to check something on the race files.
That's a new one, around the outside of a prototype at the Porsche curves.
Damn. The data I'm just looking for is missing. Hopefully that works. Right, that should be set. That is
Royal Blue LMP through the Porsche curves, nonetheless. So fairly impressive to get past there.
cock. Calced. That in lap was a 3.40.9. 493, that is
Hayden Rhodes now in
good.
the Team Taper lime green.
Ross
Pulls into the
currently
pit lane.
lapping great, I have to say.
Potentially change over. Depends on if he's got drivers around this. Jan Nichols Waiter is sitting.
Suspense is definitely going on.
Maybe above second, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to see now the closest cars on circuit, I believe.
Jack?
Angus Tong is.
Yes.
Behind Jembul Bassi.
To be fair, what we just did in your stint might not have been necessary.
Reset. So we're going to see now it's going to reset.
What might not be necessary?
Well, right now,
it
it appears to be that this lap where we just thought we would go into the final lap appears to be like 3 seconds after checkered flag.
But he's now.
It's like very close. Yeah, it really depends on what we're doing now,
We'll see. He's got 2 minutes though ahead.
and obviously what the leaders are doing.
And there's no real close.
Well, either way, we have a guaranteed second at least for now.
Yes, that's very true.
Let's just see what happens. I mean, it's very, very tough. When it's that close, being a lap more or less than predicted, then yeah.
So at the moment, it's a bit formation-like in terms of
Yeah, predictions and stuff.
Separated out, no real battles for
Yeah,
position.
if you've got like a minute or two to play with, it's easy. But if you're, it's literally by a few seconds.
Yeah, it is.
We may see some potential battles brewing.
So, currently we got Ross Woodford in the ACR Zakspeed LMP2 car, and yeah, we plan to have a few more pit stops. So I also gonna take care of Joao Pitars in the GTE car. I'm sorry for the blowing or whatever that is actually the bird of Jack Heasley there.
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself while my parrots are awake.
About those parrots.
They can hear that.
You guys are all right.
I am.
So how often you plan to box still?
355th lap for the
Well,
team.
90 liters part.
We're on the
I have 61
minute of the race.
right now.
Yeah.
I plan on doing a triple stint hard tire.
3 minutes left.
Okay,
Run
so
at Le Mans.
2 more pit stops.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know where when I came in, because if it's 6 hours instead of 6 stints, I could exceed something, because I think Bojan ended his stint a bit early.
I can tell you when you were in last time.
Okay. It's 6 hours maximum, right? Per driver.
Not that I knew of.
Consecutive.
No, that doesn't work. If you have 4 driver, either one that does more than 4 hours. Last pit stop you did is from lap 266. That makes sense. Sorry,
No.
Yeah, lap 281. That is when you entered the pits.
Heading through.
Are you sure? Because my lap counter is telling me I did 316 laps, and I have 60 liters of fuel yet, so I think the maximum I can do with this 90 liters is like 17 laps or so on a good day.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the fact is this live timing here is showing me you did something else. Let me refresh that. It appears to be broken at the minute.
Okay.
See if he's going to pull into the pit lane potentially for a driver change. Kean White is on the server, so we could see it happening. The GT car.
Be right back.
Philip Krause is going to go for a lap here at Le Mans. Around the Circuit de la Sarthe, the GT car.
CN White is on the server. CN White is on the server, so he's going to take over the car from Philip Krause then. Pretty much as expected.
So then they're gonna be sticking him in for a stint or two, and then sticking Evan in for a stint or two, and I'm quicker than both of them. So
go for it. Right, let me see. Here it says lap 312 is the lap you exited the pits.
Okay, that sounds good.
We're all good here. We're watching Phil crash at the moment.
Hey, I'm sorry, I just lost track of time. What's up?
For Vulcan by
Yo,
1.5 minutes over.
I had to pee in the bottle.
As he heads now, Philip, down the Mulsanne Street.
Okay.
Nice job. Hashtag just 24 hours things.
Yeah.
Kean White can take over as he is in the service, so we may see a.
How's the gap?
2 minutes to the
That's
first.
good.
The leader of the race.
Not that good.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
Laps the team taper.
I was hoping you didn't disqualify it or anything. Jeez.
Alright, talk to you later, guys. Still trying to make the LMP2 car win.
Yeah, good luck.
I think what will be interesting
Thanks.
is to see Keane obviously coming in the car next for one single stint is how fast he will be able to get up to speed. Because you have Philip right now, he's been super consistent, putting in solid lap times this stint. I know he crashed on, I think he's the second time he was in the car.
Yeah, in Indianapolis.
And then I think he jumped out not that long after. I think he jumped
Actually,
out
they
a
might
couple
come
for
shorter,
crazy lap times,
which
and,
points to the fact that they boost a
actually
lot.
hit the wall at Indianapolis, but
Philip is all over the
it all
place.
depends if Keane can get up to speed.
Yeah, he's probably
quickly.
really pushing right now. Probably next lap or two they're going to come in.
Yeah, he said he'd 5 hours of sleep and he still feels tired, and that was like 2 hours ago. So
That
this whole
will
thing, let's hope he's not.
that will
feeling as
completely
tired
fuck
as
up
we
their
all are
strategies,
in the
though.
apart from Kieran and the comment.
Unless they have noticed, and that's what I'm sure they're gonna not make it without a splash and dash, so they probably now gonna fully attack.
I feel amazing. Yep.
I mean, Phil's not pulling away from you that much, even with traffic.
Yeah, but that should be shortly. That should be up any time actually, in terms of Phil coming into the pits in the next few laps.
This or next lap, they're definitely going to come in.
Would
I have 3:59.
Maybe at the end of this lap, unless Phil feels as though they
Where I expect them.
Well, Keane's only got 3 laps to be on the service, so if they're coming in 3:59, he shouldn't be in right now.
In the first sector, so putting in the fantastic lap times
We are on 3:59.
as he heads now.
Nope,
into
we're
the
on
fourth square.
3:56
You
right
can
now.
see GT car coming up ahead.
Okay.
In a way, I wouldn't think. All they almost
Yeah.
do. That could have been very, very ugly for Philip Krause. He gets past the car though. Will he be diving into the pits at the end of this lap? We shall see.
The boxes not
He's going to
yet.
continue on into the Ford chicanes. He's going to do another lap here of the Circuit de la Sarthe. You can see now we're just sitting on board on the bonnet cam with Philip Krause. We can see the real sense of speed from these LMP cars. They are just attack the corners with such aggression, and it will stick because they've got so much downforce in comparison to their GT counterparts, and the car's able to just really nail it and just go for wherever you point it. Even in such a late point in the stint where we are with Philip Krause at the moment, he's been in the car for quite some time, and he's on the edge, I guess, of tyre performance and fuel. So he'll be sort of struggling a little bit, I would imagine. Wouldn't be the ideal car to be driving, but he's keeping the car going, and he's going fairly quickly. He's gone a couple of tenths faster in each sector so far in comparison to Ross Woodford, so is extending the gap slightly.
So Ross, you're matching him first
He
sector at the
breaks now
minute.
for the first Mulsanne chicane.
You're pushing hard there.
Now he's going to be heading to the braking zone for the second Mulsanne chicane. Philip there trying to make sure he doesn't track extending over the white line. Keeps the car within track limits, and now he's going down the back straight, down the Mulsanne straight, down towards the Mulsanne corner itself. Obviously,
I think Phil's going this lap,
one of the
so
heaviest, I'd imagine, on the entire
Some
circuit.
sort of has to, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really quick.
He's braking incredibly heavily now. well over 300 kilometers an hour there for Philip Crest in quali trim, maybe not in the race, but he's looking fairly decent now as we can see that Fran Mora is in the pit lane, third place in the race, so it'll be probably just a tyre and fuel stop. They're quite a way ahead.
So
of,
what
anyone
is
around
going
the,
to happen
final
still
line.
is the
LMP,
leader's
who
car,
I believe
Philip
is in
Kraus,
fourth,
has
he's
to
5
box
laps
for
behind, Fran Mora,
I
so
believe a fresh set
all
of
good there
tyres
for the
and
JBM
a
car.
driver
They
swap.
haven't got any real pressure from behind.
And with that being said, we're still scheduled for another tyre swap and 2 additional stints, all with Ross Woodford on the wheel though. Whereas I believe the car out Philip Kraus, so the Vulcan Racing, they have to do driver swaps, 2 of them still. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting thing.
No, stays out.
Hold on a minute. So they were reporting that the other guy is on the
Let's see
server
now.
for quite some
Philip Kraus is
while.
actually heading towards the pit lane. Will he go into the pits? No, he's not. He's going to continue on. So maybe we might be looking at 1 hour for Evan Rice and 1 hour for Kean White. So maybe Philip might be going for another 13 minutes or so before he changes over the car. He's feeling happy in the car at the moment, you would think.
I mean, you can report it if you want.
Like he is.
I'm thinking about that just now.
If he doesn't come in this lap, then we have to report it.
Report what, sorry?
Kean being on the server
he's
for
only
too long
driving
without
to
jumping in the car.
Get the 1 stint because of the fact they have 5.
Has he been on for more than 10 minutes, or would he be on?
If he doesn't come in this lap, he'll be on for more than 10 minutes.
At all, you need to do a minimum of 3 hours.
The stream
Okay.
reported him being on in lap
I think
340,
Kean is
no,
currently,
350.
I think he's
5
probably like
at the
half an hour
least.
from his limit, so he only needs to do.
He's in lap
stint.
358. Honestly, yeah, I do think they go lap 359,
Yeah,
which
so-
is the
and
next
then you
lap.
have- because he crashed,
And if
because
they
had
do
the
this,
incident,
I'm
he
definitely
wanted
gonna
to get
file
in
a
the car
protest.
as quickly as possible. I don't know if that was their original plan. but
Or 331
you
flat.
You had that, and then you have Evan as well. Who
Phil's
needs to
still
jump
quicker
in
than me, which is annoying.
because he's also not hit.
He's on the-
Christian, yeah.
And he's on less
He'll
fuel.
go to the end of the race, so he'll be the one that will most likely have to do any end of race battling. But we've got Fizzy Fan. Fizzy's come back into the commentary box after a nice little sleep. He's going to take us through to the end of the race.
Yes, how are you guys doing?
Tired, yeah.
I'm refreshed, so don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, that's yeah.
Well, Kieran woke up thinking he was going to take the VD to the end of the race, but it's not to be.
So it's gonna be a very interesting one.
The issue there, that was quite unfortunate. We've lost a few leaders throughout this race in both classes.
So we've currently got the Vulcan number 9 leading, with ACR Zakspeed with Ross Woodford at the wheel, and second place Vulcan still got to do 2 driver changes before the end of the race, whereas ACR going to the end.
Oh, Ross, there is a bunch of traffic ahead, I have to
maybe once
say,
or twice
so
before the end of the race.
sorry.
Vulcan have got to make at least 2 driver changes.
Do they have to because of the rules, or do they want to?
No, they have to because the 2 drivers haven't reached the 3-hour minimum.
I see.
So they have to do still
have
to do still two driver swaps from now on.
They do, yeah.
The race. I think
Yeah.
Evan Rice is going to be doing the final driver change. So
That
he'll
is
be
our
taking the car to
chance.
the end.
Whatever you do,
We're
be
thinking
quicker
that
than them.
ACR Zakspeed will probably be leading after all the driver.
The sad
swaps
story
that
with Jack, we lost a bit too much time with a broken car.
that Evan Rice might have to overtake Ross Woodford on
Yeah.
for the win.
Now that is interesting. Yeah, it's with those driver swaps in mind, it could be close. I would say just from the gap at the moment, 1 minute 25 seconds.
They stayed out.
Last time we got-
He stayed out.
For his very first.
Very true.
driver
I'm gonna
swap.
file a report.
The driver swap over to Evan any minute. I think he's possibly on his in lap now or the next lap. He's getting towards the end of the stint.
Phil's definitely pushing
He's
now.
going for another lap.
Okay.
I don't care.
So he'll be in very short.
So what would that be,
He's been
what
going
would the penalty be then? Like stop and hold?
Maybe stop, go, maybe drive through, maybe no penalty. I don't know.
But he's continuing along.
Should be a stop and go.
And he's doing very, very well indeed to get that Vulcan car.
What was
where
the
it
car
is, at the
number?
front of the pack, at the lead of the race.
I don't know. You can have a look at it on the
Yeah,
engine.
I noticed.
Oh, it doesn't sound a lifetime.
No, probably can't see it on the lifetime. Maybe.
Oh, that's 09.
09, yeah.
Keithley, a while ago. It's really what happened. I think that was done when Keithley jumped back in the car, but what you did miss is he had.
So you are now
GT
crash with a GT
going into
and the GT
358.
on the straight, hit into Jack, and he had severe damage to the point where he was losing like 4 or 5 seconds a lap. He had.
Wow.
It was happening at the same
Oh, this
time
car's
as
dead
the whole,
completely.
VD,
What?
GT just turned straight across me at Porsche curves.
Yes,
I've got damage everywhere.
Yeah, so he
Oh
then
yeah, we just
detected-
see it.
I think he tried to repair maybe some of the damage or not at all. He then came in like 3 laps later to try and repair again.
Oh,
that's a big one.
So did he like? How much room did you give you until he hit you? Like the two cars width?
I was half alongside him, and then he just turned in as normal.
A pickle wickle is involved, I believe.
Yeah, that was.
God, what an idiot!
See, yeah, gonna. Caught the right end of
Woodford
it.
trying to go down the inside of the Pickle Wickle Racing on the entry towards the long right in the Porsche curves. Looks like the GT car just didn't see him at all, and he's tried to go up the inside.
Oh yeah, oh that's a dangerous one.
Spanner in the works.
Man,
That's gonna be damage as well. That could.
I can't afford to repair this, can I?
Completely change this race.
You should repair because it's concurrent. As soon as you swap the tires, the repair is gonna fix everything. That is our only chance.
Carries on at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see under that time.
And have to hope that we do not get another top speed issue.
I think it didn't really need
The
to go for
driver
that,
swap
though,
with a new driver
It's been a long race. That for all we
in
know,
the
that GT
server.
could have been in the car for many hours and be quite tired as well.
Server with
No, the wheel's fine. I've got light blue front suspension, both sides, right rear, left door, and then dark blue left rear.
The damage, he tried to repair it multiple times.
Just take it easy with the car then.
Yeah.
2.5 seconds a lap.
fail.
We got a guaranteed second.
Vulcan car.
Do a driver
So the
swap
fell at
with
the
a
time.
new driver
So Ross jumped in. The
in
damage
the
issue
server
that
within
he tried to repair
back.
has fixed itself when Ross has got in the car. I don't question rFactor 2 on this. So Ross actually had a completely fine car.
Right, I reported it.
Fine,
Fingers
and now-
crossed.
Now that's happened. So
But I don't know.
Very interesting indeed. So the gap now after that incident.
We
down to,
maximized everything.
minute 42 seconds.
This purple car, by the way,
ACR.
what an
Yes,
and so on.
Philip Krause due into the pits.
Oh, it's that purple G.
It was the purple GTE,
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Did you see it on stream?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I've not had a look at it, but
Oh yeah, it's in that.
how does it look, G?
Bad.
I was half alongside him, and he's just turned across.
Usually you should have your mirrors on and see that there is an issue. Right, they on the pits.
Could be a long one with a driver swap as well. Fingers crossed, I guess.
Gonna come out like 40 seconds behind now.
Suffered issues with the glitch with the
Yep.
driver swaps. I think
So we lost
every
40
time
seconds in that
team
incident?
goes into the pit at this point,
No, but we would have been
yeah,
20 seconds behind anyway. We probably lost another 20 because of the incident.
They don't get affected.
Copy.
Especially the fact that they have to do it another twice.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're going to lose even
Yeah,
more
don't
when I
have
get to
worry about
repair
that,
this.
they're taking Ross Woodford to the end now.
Nah, yeah, it depends what it is. Either 73 seconds for repair, or it's gonna be 49.
Yeah, we only got 4.
If 73, we lose another 15 seconds.
It's some bad news for
It's
ACR, by the
11,
way.
12, no, 11 seconds because they're doing a driver swap.
Even more in the straight.
We're doing a driver
than they
swap?
were From Jack's
They're doing a driver swap.
only hitting 295.
Oh, that, yeah, okay,
straights
okay.
in comparison
Yeah, they've got to have
to
Evan Rice get in to the end.
0.2. So that's going to be worth a hell of a lot of lap
No,
time.
so C and White
Even
needs to
time
do
to get it in the
an hour, and the other guy,
it's
what
gonna
was his
fix
name?
itself. I think the only way
I think Ian just
that
needs to
they'll
do
be
an
able
hour. He's
to
been saying it
get
in
this
stream
top
chat.
speed back is another driver
On the stream it
change,
said
which I
both
think
Yeah,
had to
Keane's
do
in the
it.
car now.
possible
Keane's in the
because
car
Walsh
now.
needs to be in the car to
Yeah.
get the minimum driver time. So it could be
Keane's
all
in the
zero,
car for one stint, and
Walsh
Evans
is
coming in
on
for a
track.
triple.
Yeah, that could have been the race.
Or
deciding
double, or
incident
whatever
then,
it is.
with
Yeah, that'd be for double, yeah.
For that stick in his nose
A
a
double
little
and
bit,
a splash and
I think, that's
dash.
where the first goes on that Pickle Wickle GT car. And getting some damage. Let's see what the gap is now, 138, that was before.
Is it only we being the only car that crashes with GT all the time?
I know VD lagged into one like a few hours in, but apart from that, I think it is just with us.
Right, projected pit stop, lap 364.
Oh, it's
Copy.
sped up a little bit, gone to
So
different brakes.
Cian just got wide once, cutting the first chicane on the Muslan.
So he's trying to settle back into rhythm, I guess, after not having been in the car for a while. GT leader as well, Alvaro Baker, safely back out on track. No driver swap for them. That is the Racing Club Endurance Junior team. Started from third in the GT field. I think both teams that ahead of them are out of the race. Let's see, how far are ACR behind them in the GT field? 25 seconds? That's not too bad.
There was a battle between them for the lead. They were fighting each other during the night stint. So,
Hey Steam King,
it's been
greetings
relatively
there.
close. The GTs were the leading GTs were battling, but I also think
Andrew, the
there was a lead GT that
LMP1
actually
car
dropped out
was
as well.
driven
The
by
FP GT that
currently
won
Ross
the race
Woodford,
and
Jack Keithley, Cody Blanton, and me.
It was a
And the
good
GTE car is driven by Bojan Bogdanov, currently driven by Joao Pitarz, Max Brackley, and Lawrence Doherty.
Yeah, it's like a 40-second gap right now.
The driver said that he might have been there before because he left the car a bit too early.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
You may be able to use additional boost
for a long time
a bit. Don't over exaggerate, but
I'll just use a bunch on the in lap.
These issues happen.
yeah, 4 laps to
I don't know
go.
if there's anything we can do to sort of fix that. It's just a built-in
2 endless hours still.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but we've got Philip Kraus is ready for an interview. The man who's just got out of the Vulcan car, so we'll drag him in here and see if he's good to go. Philip, are you here?
Hello there.
Philip, you've obviously gotten out the Vulcan car in the middle of the night. In your time, you've driven probably the most, I would say, out of the Vulcan
How's the car
team.
balance
How
and the
do you
damage?
feel, on that final stint?
It's not bad. Could be better.
Yep.
Haven't slept at all since the
So, what do you think? How much lap time that costs you?
Well then, you were still incredibly quick, even after being up now for nearly 24 hours.
Maybe like
you're handing the car over to
half a second to a second. I'm not sure.
White, and Evans obviously got to also drive the car before the race is out.
I mean, I've got a
How
clear
do you
lap now, so
feel,
we'll see.
With the team, do you think that they'll be able to get this car to the checkered flag first?
I'll do a toilet, I'll be back.
Yeah, but I believe we need to fix it.
Okay. And in terms of, you obviously drove a little bit through the night. Obviously, adjusting from driving at nighttime to daytime, how do you feel adapting to that?
Daytime was definitely a lot better. Nighttime, a lot of the braking points were different, and GTs were a lot more difficult to spot.
Yeah, well, that was something that a lot of the LMP drivers were talking about, how hard the GTs were to spot during the nighttime, with them only appearing when the lights actually start to shine on them. So, but well done on your stint. You're now finished your driving for the race. We hope that, for your sake, the Vulcan can keep ahead of the Zakspeed car and take the checkered flag first in about in 2 hours and 45 seconds time.
I just hope I didn't do an extra stint for nothing.
Yeah, well, we shall see in about 2 hours' time. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for getting talking to us so soon after you've just gotten out of the car as well. It's very impressive. Are you going to stay up now and watch the end of the race, or are you going to bed now?
It's bedtime.
Happy birthday to you, Katarina.
Surely you have to stay up now after having done this far. Come on.
I'm completely out.
All right.
I've had about 2 Red Bulls and yeah.
Final 2 hours are about to begin.
Need some hype energy, mate.
So, Ross traffic information, there are 3 GTE cars currently crossing the Sector 2 split right now.
Hype energy taste tester.
Let's see what we can get sorted.
Well done on the race up to this point. We'll obviously, if your team does win, we probably won't talk to you at the end of the race because you'll be asleep. But we'll actually probably see you at the Silverstone race next weekend for the Formula One.
Yeah.
I'm 1.2 seconds down and still catching Kian.
Good night.
Catch you later, man.
Have a good.
There you go, Philip Kraus, number 9 Volk.
But still, if you're 1.2 seconds down and you invest 15 seconds for more than 20 laps, see what I mean?
I know how it is. I've
Definitely worth fixing it.
25 hours in my share of these kind of race and iRacing. So it's not advisable. I'm sure Minor, our broadcaster, is feeling a similar sort of thing at the moment. Maybe some slight regrets started to creep in, but he as well doing a good job. Staying away. No, he's good apparently. So
He's good.
No worries.
Yes, Team King, we're having failed 2 cars in 2 different
3 seconds behind Kian White now.
classes, and I'm gonna quickly bring up the current standings, which is this. So we got Ross Woodford currently running in second with don't react on the gaps or don't pay attention to them, they are jumping too much around. And we got Joao Pitaes in the ACR Zakspeed GTE.
I'm like 1.5 seconds down from it.
Yeah, really need to see that we go to box.
Spectating.
And
obviously
they are still in
still caught
touch
Keane by like 4 tenths.
with Alvaro
so I think he was in there
Baker for the win in the GTE class. So there's a brilliant amount of stuff going on still. Ross is gaining on Cian White, which is great. He should also be quicker than the final driver. So it's gonna come down to the very end of the race, and we hope all the damage can be fixed. We hope the car has not hit any glitches for top speed and has not any broken things there, which compromise our straight line speed. Other than that, we're pretty much maximizing everything we got.
But yeah, obviously.
And
it's because we're about a mile down in straight line as well.
Define a mile, please.
We're back to being like 5, 6, 7 k's down.
For God's sake. Fingers crossed that that is going to be fixed. If not, that's a major letdown.
Yeah,
that's what my time loss is coming
from. On that. It's a fairly hardline rule, but we shall see if that's the case. But
they're currently investigating our protest, by the way.
Is there from the stewards.
Okay.
At the moment, he is leading by about 40-odd seconds over Ross Woodford, who's currently on the Mulsanne straight, making his way through some GT cars now. We've got Fran Mora in 3rd place, 8 laps behind.
Honestly,
6 laps ahead.
Watching the live stream right now could have saved the ass.
On the road in 4th place. We've got Alvaro
if there is a penalty coming.
GT class, ahead of the ACR car of Pitaes.
Are they going to have to stop for tyres again? I don't think they are they?
They should not.
And yeah, still not too far apart, those guys. About half a minute, or maybe.
So you're boxing lap 363, right?
Just
364.
364. Sorry, 364.
So you know, there are potentials for a lead battle in both classes, really, if something was to happen. Yeah, it's still 2 hours.
Took out another 1.5 seconds. You're doing a good job there.
Normal race. So. that and wait and see. So it's good though. To, you know, neither leader of either class can afford, you know, after 22 hours of racing, they can't even afford to take a little toilet break.
And what he just said on the stream is absolutely right, because I am alive since 11 AM yesterday. I tried to sleep 9 PM, couldn't really sleep, so I decided to go out of bed 10:30 PM, get back on the stream or back here to the team, and took out the car 2 AM to 5 AM, and literally I'm still sitting here, you know. The back is hurting quite a bit. Meanwhile, I'm sorry for hiding the picture there.
Maybe. That's a possibility.
There you go.
Evan Rice will.
That is a 24-hour
I would assume it would be as soon
race.
as White reaches his 3-hour minimum. But then they've got to be very careful not to be in the server for more than 10 minutes spectating. Lorenz Doherty is coming is on the server now. He is racing for ACR GT. So we could see a final driver change for them.
Indeed, as we have one of the Danes in the race, Mats Holm Jensen. I assume it's Danish because it sounds Danish. Unless it's actually Norwegian. I mean, that could also be Norwegian.
Hey chaps, just quickly make sure to not hit the 10-minute mark as a maximum for driving swap, which was protested on a leading LMP2 car.
So,
Alright, yeah, what? How much liters are you on?
Actually,
20
spots, despite DNF.
I'm gonna come back in like a lap or two.
Or, no,
okay.
It's they're still technically P5 in the race in the class. So,
that's where they'll finish as well, because there's only 4 LMPs left in the race.
Yeah, exactly. There's no chance of getting lower than that, so they will get a top 5 after everything. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, we're way down in a straight line.
So Lydia is unfortunately out as well. They're going to get it.
About time that this lap 364 comes up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
My top speed is about 296 right now.
The replay that
yeah.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse still. Make sure to select tyres.
Yeah, everything's set.
Perfect stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what
Yeah, huge launch, yeah.
Just a curb deciding to throw them into the air. And out of the track, so that was. I think that was the most spectacular retirement of the race.
But the interesting thing is that we've actually only seen. I don't know if that car did lose a wheel when it was thrown into the air, but I did see one of the F1 Bros GT cars lose its front left tyre.
Oh, really?
And it made its way back to the pit lane and got it fixed. The mechanics just went to the.
Yes, Rahoran, the majority of the LMP2 car has sadly retired.
Ready just to.
Thank you very much, Miles. We're still not done yet.
About 30 seconds later.
Although I wish we were.
Wow.
Not in that positioning though, but generally. I'm so fucking sorry for the language. Done.
In the LMP will be the Finnish team with Juni Suominen having some kind of issue. If you remember what that was.
Apparently, looks like that the one of the other LMP2 cars got another problem.
They were running reasonably well. I think they were battling for a 4th when I went to bed last night.
Yeah, this race has had more turns than a roller coaster. We obviously in the early stages we had Memes leading. I woke up, they were out of the race.
Memes was the actual team name.
Out of the race, and VD were leading by miles. And now we've also seen VD.
Thank you, Miles.
Out of the race.
I'm just hoping that this goes very, very well in the end.
We've got Vulcan leading the race, and I believe Vulcan were also leading the race early on in the race as well.
They were, weren't they? Yeah, I think they were leading at the very early stages. Then obviously VD came past them. I think it was Craig in the car, wasn't it, when they actually took the lead of the race. Back in the day, feels like a couple of times ago now.
Yeah, that was from Vulcan as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it was when Mac was
Lost a second there, Ross. I know you're doing a great job. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm using up all the fuel now.
And even ACR, there were 3, almost 4 minutes down on ACR at one point. So just shows you a couple of crashes late in the night, and look what can happen.
Yeah,
it's very interesting for Vulcan because obviously they are the sole LMP team with 5 drivers, and they got Max Shepard's driving done very early on in the race, and just said, okay, you're done. You don't need to do any more. Out you get. And then they just rotated between the other 4 drivers. It looks like it has come back to bite them slightly with the fact that Evan Rice is having to come into the car in the dying stages of the race.
Let's see if I can find 300 Ks into boost 4.
A fairly pressured environment, you would imagine, with him having to potentially battle Ross Woodford for the entire win. It's a big ask for Evan if he is going to have to do an on-track overtake on Ross Woodford, but I think he might be aware of Ross's driving style as well, because obviously the top two at the moment,
I can
and
just
Ross
about
well,
get to
Evan,
300 on
two
boost
driving
4.
in the F1 division for rFactor 2, so they are sort of aware of each other's driving styles.
I think with Ross's
Try that
damage,
as much as you can. It's just 2 laps anyway. We can use or refuel more fuel as we need to time for the repairs anyway.
Ross is going to have to probably put in the stint of his lifetime to.
It's just the pit lane, so I'm just giving it everything.
His lap times aren't
Yeah,
actually that bad, though.
put a mix 4. What is the fuel?
2.6 right now.
Could be.
Where are you?
Just coming into Mulsanne. I'm not using boost 4 the entire way around, just down all the straights.
I think he's quite far.
2.6.
He certainly hasn't pitted since I came into the box again, so.
Yeah,
2.6 is not enough.
Getting ready to pit very shortly.
I'm not using boost 4 all the way around.
So he's lapping faster for second.
Yeah, but you need 4.8 laps liters of fuel for mix 1 only.
It isn't as bad, or he's up the boost to try and compensate it, like I was talking with Zach before you join. Obviously, you've got different boost modes. Boost 4 uses more fuel, also damages the engine as well, so you need to be kind of careful with it. But it burns through the fuel, but it gives you maybe about 5Ks. So that would probably undo the offset. But
So you're now into Porsches, right?
Go for it now, since they don't really have
just out of
any other option.
Fuel.
Yeah. It's not,
1.1.
If they want to win, I just have to.
Oh, this scares the crap out of me. Spit ring starts at 0.1 of a liter.
Yeah, I'm not using any more boost 4.
Yeah, that brings me to.
Just take it easy, man.
Obviously, earlier in the race, you did.
And make sure to not stall it if you don't have start and ignition mapped.
By far the most ridiculous.
I've got auto clutch on, so I'll install it.
Not with high boost by any chance.
Yeah, but if the fuel goes out, the car goes off.
Every fastest lap from every
That's what I mean.
Probably with boost 4.
Fair enough.
So I should like coast into the pit lane right now.
Well, if it's very critical, yes.
What's happened? Why on the live timing does it show one car on fire and it's like us?
Sun's coming up, track temperature's perfect. With the pace
Oh.
jam was going, if he wasn't going to beat it, he would have gotten hella close to it. But yeah, I think that's actually going to stick somehow. No idea. I'm not currently in the server, so I
live timing says track temperature at the moment 28.
Please tell me that it did it.
Whether it's air temperature.
Yeah, we're good.
Ross Woodford is in the pit lane.
Oh, okay. There we go then.
Woodford has come in.
70.
How much repair time?
72 seconds stop.
He'll be changing both
780.
tyres and fuel.
Was it 78 or 87?
72.
72, great.
Oliver.
Yeah.
That's just about 12 additional seconds.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best place to be parking your car. The
Has he
engine
run
is
out of
off.
fuel on the way to the pits by any chance?
That's a very good question.
That just nearly got to the box. He's now slightly rolling back.
Is the car running?
Okay, this might be approaching dangerous.
Yep, car's running.
Interesting. So that's the third last running car in the race at the moment.
You guys are scaring me for the last hour and a half. Crashing the cars and lag bubbles and GTEs and nearly running out of fuel.
Screen freeze, which then turned off the racer's wheel. I had to plug it in and out a couple of times before it actually started.
Goodness me.
And now, for some reason, the car has been turned off again, but this time on the pit lane entry.
That's even more annoying. Yeah,
So you just lost another 7 seconds into the pit lane.
Oh my goodness.
Due to coasting anyway.
I had to coast it quite a long way.
Yeah.
Making himself impossible to pass.
Be careful on the fuel. Maximum fuel allowable is 50.
He very much has run out of fuel. He's currently rolling backwards into the pit lane entry.
If he's blocking the pits,
Who is out on fuel there, for God's sake?
May have to do something if he's moving. Yeah.
Get him out of the
So
way.
far behind now.
No, he's sort of sitting not in the pit lane. He's near the pit lane entry. He's now
outside the
running
white
further
line
back.
that he meant to be in when
he's trying to get into the hole in the wall, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of dudes back there.
You,
Maybe they can get those dudes to push him.
this is when you need the AI to come and push someone.
Jack, what's it about
There
your
we go, he's going
parrots?
through the gap. Let's see what will happen. I think he just ran over to.
They're just happy that they've had their breakfast. No, they won't shut up.
Making his way into the middle of the circuit.
It was rolling forwards again, but then.
Yeah, every time you whistle, they can hit
That's
you.
Woodford.
And if you keep whistling, I'm going to come to Germany and punch you.
I don't think we've got our speed back.
It's probably the most random.
Yeah, that was pretty much expected.
Yeah, it's just get as much as will allow us to be fixed.
They're sitting out of the race, basically.
We must have like a lot of diffuser damage or just underneath.
No, because the speed fixed when I got in the car, and then when I crashed into, and then when the GT crashed into me, it broke again.
But like Lewis Hamilton 2000.
Oh,
he should have gotten out of the car.
Okay, that is strange.
After qualifying.
What if we go for another driver swap after this stint? It's the double stint to the end.
We need that.
It
I
could
was
be.
actually just talking with Dad, and I was going to watch some motorsport with him soon on TV, but you want me to be here?
Has he gotten something working?
He's found some
Oh.
magic.
Well, we have to consider it, haven't we?
Oh, he got about.
If Ross is not able to pull out another 9 seconds of driver swapping is worth getting
in
it.
other news, a GT who's in second place is now coming to the pit lane.
Oh, this damage model is pissing me off right there.
And yep, there
Thanks,
we go.
GTE car
Out of the
man.
race. Pickle Racing out of the race after a very entertaining saga. Yes, they are out.
So what's the real gap?
17 then remaining cars in the race from 41.
2 minutes 32.
Worth mentioning, Ross Woodford had a.
That's a lot more than lifetime insane.
Yeah.
Damage there.
I don't think it's really helped him.
Right, chaps, we gonna box for once, and they gonna stop twice from now on.
Next time around, but that's
the race. It is about. Yeah, say.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say their second stop there, their splash and dash. They're going to lose like I think 30 seconds around.
Has there been any follow-up on our protest?
Follow what?
Lost a lot of time just from doing the
repairs. Follow-up on the protest.
Not quite fixed, and
haven't heard of it anything. Need to write on the chat.
Lorenz Doherty now gets into the ACR GT car, pulling now to the end of the pit lane. He'll be the final driver for that team, sitting second at the moment in class. We're hearing an engine blow up for one of the drivers.
It was one of the drivers that were in here earlier getting interviewed. I don't remember the team name.
Pickle, the car has been classified as an engine failure. Yeah, they were the ones that had the pit lane excursions, running over some marshals and rolling backwards in the pit lane. Yeah, that was the same car that was on the side of the Mulsanne Straight about 3 hours ago, I'd say, when it was still night time. Obviously, we've now transitioned from for me, it's been from day to night, and now we're back into the daytime.
So, it's the development in terms of what we want to see in terms of, we obviously sitting here hoping for some battles by the end of this race. Unfortunately, the second place in both classes have had seemingly a pretty long pit stop. And that is ACR in both cases. So ACR running second in both LMP and GT, both having just been in the pits for quite a while. So they're now over 2 minutes off the lead in each respective class, I think. We will see the exact gap, maybe. Actually, no, we won't see that. Will we? The live timing is fluctuating quite a bit. Baker is crossing the line now. Oh, actually, no. Now the lead GT is in the pits. Let's get back. No, wait. That's the
No,
That's
it's,
the last of the LMPs. Sorry.
Yeah, they've been Royal Blue into the pit lane, carried over their Formula One livery onto the LMP car. It looks very nice indeed. With Dennis now trundling to the end of the pit lane. Maybe a driver change might be on the cards for him. See, I don't think it will happen, but Miguel Overia, who was driving, I believe, in the leading GT car, is on the service, so we could see a change, the final change.
So if I compare the sector times at the minute,
well is on the service,
Ross
so
is not really
maybe
quick
we might
enough.
be seeing a change in the current third place car with Fran Mora, and might be pitting for a driver change.
Certainly. So, yeah, Royal Blue not having too much hope of moving up further spots, really, unless one of the top three.
So, on the driver
failure of some sort.
swap
They're 15
protest,
laps off the leaders.
and I'm going to quote Mr. Chatsmer,
which is
Craig Baxter. They were warned as the
Racing
rule
Esports
was
running
put
third
in
moment.
place to serve stability,
Van
so
Moor
as
and
far as I'm aware,
Van
they
Van
just
Velen.
have to make
Head
sure
back out into the track.
not to do it with a final change, otherwise they would get a penalty.
They started quite far down, obviously. They
Rip us.
capitalized quite a bit on.
What's the fucking point of employing rules when they're not going to do anything about it?
P12.
Ask them.
From being able to stay in the race. That is the main thing in a endurance like.
So sadly, in
endurance
that
race,
way,
they
we're not
start
going to do
stay in
anything.
the race, and you will pick up positions because there are always going to be teams suffering problems, whether it's be their own faults or.
So it's pretty much just now to the end.
In this race, through the fault of.
Well,
unless they mess up a driver swap, then this is basically where we're going to finish.
Yeah. The only possibility we could just try is bring Jack back in the car, because Ross now has his 3 hours,
You can see now Ross
and it's still a
with
double
damage
stint to
is
go to
struggling
the end.
to even catch some.
And last time a change
on
of
the straights.
drivers fixed the
So,
speed issue.
Yes, it's going to be interesting. to
It's
see
a gamble,
he's
if
gonna have
any.
to use obviously,
Obviously, Ross, I don't want to take driving time away from you, but
Nah, honestly, it's we're not going to get all that time back.
Is not the way he wants to do it, but
Just worried. If we had a lot more hours to go, obviously, yes.
yeah, I mean,
don't think in the double
not
stint you're
looking
gonna get those 9
unless,
seconds out of the car
obviously,
because of more
they
speed.
do a driver swap. I
Oh,
guess.
we will, yeah, but we're not going to make any massive
we're not gonna-
inroads
we're not
into the
gonna
lead.
pass
I don't know if he still
No,
has
we're
to
not. We're not.
meet the minimum time limit, but I think
Unless they fuck up, but
driver in there.
we're far behind them right now.
Awake. I know Jack's he's done like almost 6 hours straight, I think. Michi was up for I think like 26 hours. I seen him in the chat, so he may be there. That may be their plan. But that's
How much did you say you are off
so,
per lap, Ross, of your normal lap
I think
times?
that's really the only option they have if it even works.
Yeah. It's
Maybe
well,
like
still wait, it's,
I think I'm
the
even
drivers who actually
missing
stay
more
up for the
top
full
speed than
24
you
hours.
were.
It's maybe not the best idea in terms of keeping yourself fresh for
Probably
when you
like-
need to get back in the car.
I mean, I was 1.5
But,
seconds off
You know,
on a
they
lower fuel
are the
load.
true warriors, really.
If that makes any sense.
And
Yeah,
sacrifice
me off
90
my best time, I was on a lower fuel load, about the same.
Since the start of the race, that is very
So I
impressive.
did a
to basically
31
drive
flat on
24
about half a
hours
tank, and then
after
I
you
was
got out.
1.5 seconds off it at the end of the tank.
That's very, very impressive indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, just a little update on everything really. The gap between Keenan White and the Vulcan in the lead of the race and the LMP class. Last time Ross Woodford in P2 crossed the line.
Oh, there you go, Andrew. I'm sorry.
37
I've
seconds, so that gap
almost read that
is now
probably.
quite ominous for ACR to try and close down. Obviously, we do expect Keen to come in for a driver swap, get Evan Rice back in the car at some point by the end, which might bring them a little bit back towards them again. But of course, with Ross potentially having damage to his car as well, that is looking difficult at the moment for ACR to win the race.
Alright, we want to stay in the lead lap though, don't we?
Then
Yeah.
they do at least have.
I don't think that's an
well
issue.
in the bag with Fran Mora.
I hope so.
8 laps.
Because they're still going to have to do an extra pit stop than us, so that's like
remaining
30 seconds.
final remaining LMP in the race, Royal Blue Racing. There. 5th place overall then is the GT leader Alvaro Baker, still in the same lap as Lawrence Doherty for ACR and P2. The gap unfortunately between those as well, about 2.5 seconds going to the live timing. So something needs to happen to the leaders of both classes if we are to see another wheel-to-wheel battle here. And then Isaac Gilson in that bright lemon Aston Martin in the podium spot at the moment.
Honestly, my back is hurting like... Oh.
Michi said in the chat, he's been awake for 27 hours, so he's dead. So I doubt he's going to be jumping in the car anytime shortly. So unless there's anyone else there, I think Ross might have to manage with this damage until the end of the race, which I would say completely puts him out of any contention, barring obviously a crash in the Vulcan.
Yeah. So it's the mean thing to hope for, but that if they want to win the race, I think they kind of have to hope for it. That the Vulcan runs into an incident. Yeah, would have been out moving past another GT, so at least he's still got enough power in that engine to get past the GTs on the straight. But it's certainly not helping. Let's check his recent.
Ross, he said you just got enough engine power to battle GTs on the straight. How about that?
Yeah, I got enough power to get GTs.
With a normal car.
I'm gonna send out the purple one that is literally doing 308, 10 kilometers an hour on the main straight.
Very solid in that Vulcan.
And see if that engine power is enough then.
That should be enough. He's flying through the final couple of corners now. Really looks like he's pushing still, even though they've got a gap that is very comfortable. And it's not.
I mean, we're just about brushing 296 right now.
So 333 there last time by for him.
That's about the same as what I was doing.
So someone said in the chat, Philip Kraus, 90% of your laps are cutting.
So, unexpectedly, really.
It might just be server desync.
Most of the teams.
Yeah, we're not gonna protest the shit out of that right now. Honestly, I do not want to win that race on the green desk.
As well. Less cars on the track.
Broadcast is in America, the server's in Germany, so there's going to be a lot of desync between the two.
Oh god.
11th and 12th, but still, that is like half.
Actually, amazing that it pretty worked out well.
Yeah, starting to balloon out with the latter stages of the race. Don't know if they
so most of the laps when we saw Craig cutting on the stream, that was actually just server desync.
Flag, but
yeah, Philip Kraus is just complaining about it too.
Yeah, it depends on how.
Yeah, because the car songs look like they're floating, so they're not really. Where you see them on the stream, that's not really what they are.
To just get the end with one now.
Unless you're memes.
Swap things around a little bit as well.
Oh, yes, we have the memes.
Jack.
Yes.
But I gotta say, well, while you were driving, I showed Robert about the memes.
I think that's good to see.
We had with this LMP car. You've rewatched that?
Okay. I have not seen it. Oh,
go into the general chat.
Every single
okay.
Time, you know.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
To the next position behind.
It was one of your. It was one of your like multiplying Sanchez's as well.
Yes.
It is good to see.
Exactly.
Down to 13.
And then look the first and then the second links of those. My first stint.
There's a lap between the cars, then there's no chance of them getting their lap back. Really
non-runner.
Being able to catch.
Cody put up to date. Cody put up to date 10:18.
Say again.
Cody put up a link at 10:18 AM. Another meme of
the Michi put up.
At 11:05 AM today.
Okay.
Now, then it'd be about a normal length of a stream. So
a normal F1 race.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just reset the energy. Our broadcast has been up for nearly. Well, he's been up now for more than 24 hours. It's time to reset. We're ready to go. My voice is.
Pretend that we've all been to sleep for the last 2 days. We're full of energy. It's time to go again. We have not done any broadcasting for the past 22 hours, and I'm sure Minor will agree that he is completely ready to give us his last hour and a half. He's very ready indeed. It's good to see. Just a nap. Jesus Christ. If I was open, whenever I've been...
I'm just interested in Jack's
When
reaction.
did they pit Michi? 3:59?
I tend to
Yep.
sleep for the next 2 weeks, really.
Yes, they've got probably still 5 more laps left.
That's just...
Hold on a minute. I expect them again 374.
Seeing the driver swap issue mentioning in the chat.
And then
again.
Evan should be jumping in.
I don't know if any of the GT cars were affected. I do know that the lead GT when Pizzo was in there for Reborn Racers, they had DNF because of a driver swap situation, but we believe that was a driver error in the sense that he left his car before his teammate got in, so sort of just doing the procedure a little bit wrong for what it should do. Obviously, it's a shame that the game then decides to retire the car completely. Be better if it didn't do that.
Well, the VD retirement was filled me with a bit of hope and a bit of confusion because the car pulled out of the box. Jim Bullock-Bassey was still shown as being in the car, and then they made it under the Dunlop Bridge and then down to the S's before it disappeared back to the garage.
Yeah, and Jem wasn't even in control of the car at all.
Yeah. So I was very, very confused. Like, why is Jem staying in the car? He was meant to change
it was. That's the thing. I don't know about others, but for each one, like I don't think anyone else's AI actually went out onto the track and started driving by himself with the issue. But crazy. I've never seen it before. Obviously, we've not really messed with driver
They're
swaps.
still talking about
Well,
that the
me personally,
AI
I've
took
done
over on the online
endurance
server
versus
from
my
Sam
personal
Bullock-Bassey's
endurance
car.
event, doing driver swaps and all that too. So it's a first for.
Jack,
AOR
you're still here.
So, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I'm just.
You learn from some of this stuff. There may be some settings.
Just watched your stream.
Turned on, turned off, but
It's a good meme, isn't it?
at the end of the day,
It is, yeah. I just went to when you said a second time, get rid of a.
I think a first endurance event.
That was like instant. We saw it and like instant rip.
As well, we in AOR we done endurance races on games like Project Hospital.
It's still not as good as you thinking that they like multiplied or something on Friday.
So sort of a scaled up.
Oh yeah.
This is very much by far the biggest single race that we've ever organized. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of things to learn from for whenever we set up another one similar to this.
So actually, they probably plan to set up another 24-hour race at some point.
Mora running in third place for a while. I have to say that orange black car is one of my absolute favorite liveries in this race. Absolutely beautiful car. That is now watching fourth place man. Royal Blue Racing with the Dennis Van Balen.
Alright, despite all harmony, can this race end, please?
Solid P4 from their starting spots after managing to avoid the biggest problems that have struck a lot of the other teams, meaning they are still running in this race.
I would imagine Van Balen.
So I'm just going having a quick look whether the GTE guys are alright.
Quite some time, maybe a couple of hours at most, maybe. So we shall see if he has to pit again.
You guys are alright to the end?
He's not long out of the
We should be.
Okay. Any chance still to catch Baker?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Lauren definitely can do it.
Well, fingers crossed then.
I think he may.
What was the actual gap where I can see 2 minutes something, but it jumps around like mad?
2 minutes 17.7, but he hasn't pitted yet. He needs to pit.
Do we pit another time or we go to the end?
Yeah, going to pit for fuel and that's it.
371 we're on.
Okay. They need to swap tires still?
371 laps.
No idea.
I think so. I really think so.
Hopefully they swap tires. Hopefully, maybe. I don't think they'll swap drivers, but hopefully they swap tires. Because then put down the minute. Pit lane's 30 seconds anyway, so it'll be a minute 30.
How long does a tire swap take? Like, what's the
30
pit
seconds.
exit time? Pit exit time?
Like 30 seconds.
Maybe it was meant to be out of the car.
Right, they did a 4:51 in lap 3:05.
That's what happened to.
And did a 5:25 in lap 3:22. So I just believe they have boxed for fresh tires the last time.
Because I think
Okay.
teammates, one of the teammates.
But I just don't think they'll be using. It doesn't make any sense because they're gonna have to switch out for new ones because they're rushed. They have full boost on and they're really pushing these tires. I think they're gonna have to get another set before the end of the race.
That's a DQ. It's the only DQ in the race.
There's no way they're gonna run them.
We're all really building up, saying how
I
amazing
don't
he was
think
doing,
so, at least.
and then we received news that he was going to be disqualified if he drove any longer than 6 hours.
Wow!
And so he reached.
What's the top speed on the live timing when they come to the Mulsanne?
There was a lot of Fs in the chat for Tom Hooper, but personally, the driver of the race, after doing 6 hours.
Was it a question?
Basically for no reason, it seems. In the end.
Just from watching top speed. That's what he wants.
That's exactly what we said.
Sorry, I want to quickly go a few.
Was it Tom Hooper earlier?
Tom Hooper,
really?
Yeah, I
the
think
people's champion.
Yeah, I think he was in the car for over 6 hours because I think one of the teammates, one of the teammates didn't show up at all.
Didn't show up, and so he just kept driving, and then we heard that he was having to come into the pits at the end of the lap, and then the car stopped in the box and went into the garage, and he was disqualified.
I was wondering why he was listed at the bottom of the results at the moment. That's a DQ. It's the only DQ in the race.
It was heartbreaking. We were all really building it up, saying how amazing he was doing, and then we received news that he was going to be disqualified if he drove any longer than 6 hours.
Wow!
And so he reached that point, and the car came into the pits, and it was disqualified. And yes, there was a lot of Fs in the chat for Tom Hooper. But personally, the driver of the race, after doing 6 hours, basically for no reason.
So guys, have you heard? Have you heard about being disqualified for going longer than 6 hours in the race per driver?
6 hours in a stint.
Bottle job racing, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Driver has to do at least 3 hours, and one driver can't do more than 6 hours in one sitting.
Yep. So here we go, KMY.
That is a bit of a meh, but okay.
Probably the most scariest moment I think so far in this race for the team. They've just got to get through it one more driver change, and then Evan Rice can drive them to the line. They've just got to hope that they can get.
Oh, they're in.
This driver change. Sanchez
371, they're in.
Changing over.
Yeah.
Ross Woodford is currently going down the Mulsanne straight, so very, very far behind. The car is
371. That is actually 3 laps too early to me.
Yeah, then he has to pit stop the Vulcan for ACR to get anyone out at this point.
Hold on a minute.
Scary time.
So how are we doing?
Quick glitches that have happened. Fingers crossed it won't happen again.
I think that break was an old rule.
Okay.
I honestly, I'm not too
sure. This is gonna be a bit interesting here.
I think
if they.
Yeah, I think what I've read.
Are you saying they might just stop two more times now?
No, one.
From what
One.
I was told from
They're too quick.
Before.
We end the race earlier.
I think it's 6 hours, one stint, maximum of 14, and the 24.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's that. Yeah.
Should be 14 laps from now on. Actually, it's marginal what they are doing. I wouldn't have done this in their position.
The AI drive a little bit through the first sector, where he suddenly disappeared back to the pits. But it seems like Evan Rice has got further than that, so looks to have gone well with a driver swap for them, and that should be their final driver.
So even Rice is on the car. Sadly for us, the driver swap went well.
In terms of drivers, both Vulcan and ACR are most likely now going till the end. Ross Woodford still hasn't completed the previous lap, so he's still quite a margin behind.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 behind Evan Rice. So you really, at this point, you'd be starting to think that it will be Volkan's race.
Actually, wait, I had a glitch in the matrix.
Stage in the race. So we shall see.
Just to answer a box.
So, no joke, what they just did is put themselves for another double stint in.
There was indeed a memes team.
So they are going to have to stop.
They need to have to stop again, yeah. According to my calculations, the race is finished either lap 393 or 394, depending on the leader's pace. Probably more 394.
Are we doing 24 hours plus 1 or just 24?
24 in that, I believe. As soon as the timer hits 0, it's checkered flag. Once the leading car passes next time.
That doesn't seem so.
I do not see any way they can do 300. No, sorry, not 300. 18 laps with the car. They're gonna stop twice. So another time even.
They had Dylan Scrivens starting the race, and I think it was.
Gap's down to 123 right now.
Driver was
Jack.
Yes.
Would you be up for trying closing a gap of 18 seconds?
I think he had some sort of similar issue.
How much?
80, presumably.
80, dude.
Yeah. Well, I believe they boxed now lap 371. I believe the race goes at least to lap 39 something. So they have to stop again. We have to stop again. Still, if we swap the drivers, though, we get the hopefully the extra speed out of the car again.
I think Harris actually had to pull out.
And probably even Rice is the weakest of them drivers because I even walked away from him during night.
Yeah, Mac's not going to get back in because he did his 3 hours earlier, so Evan's the weakest of the one they had.
So that was the story of the memes.
So if we want to maximize our odds, really, I would propose, and Ross, obviously I don't want you to get off the car, but I think it's a valid try, worth a try. If we get Jack on and the glitch's happening again, that the full speed's coming back. Some 31s compared to some 34s, 20 laps.
30s? Jack can do 30s if I can do 31s.
There you go.
It's not long to go in the race now, only 1 hour 18.
I don't mind, honestly. I don't mind at all. When I get in, how long will there be left?
I've got 7 laps after this one.
Okay.
You've done a good job to get this far. Nearly 23 hours of
And then it's one final stint, basically. It's not even a double stint anymore.
Yeah.
17 cars that have been.
Well, I think we should just have to try it. I mean, one could brake under pressure and stuff.
Yes, you have a point.
Do some online races themselves the entire 24 hours.
Okay, I can go in if you want me to.
I've seen that been done before.
Ross, you're alright with that?
I don't know how
I'm with that.
could do it.
I don't know how that's possible.
Right, thanks.
Physically and mentally. If I did that, I would have to
Where's my freaking mouse?
retire from racing for the next couple of years, I think, just to recover my energy.
Okay, I'll be leaving now.
Why?
I have some stuff to do.
Good plan.
Okay, have fun with that.
It won't be fun, but thanks.
Why not?
You know what happens?
Because it has to be done, and it's not
Got stuck in the pit lane.
Enjoyable to do.
Pretty much the same as what happened to the pick.
Quite stressful.
Sounds like cleaning the flat, or sounds like cleaning the desk after a 24-hour race.
Yeah, on the pit lane entry, yeah.
Jack,
I will gladly do
flat
that.
spots go away after a driver change as well, so you'll have just round tyres.
Oh, that's good. And, with these tyres, have done 2 stints?
Just the one.
Okay. I'll quickly go to the toilet. Right back.
So, another unscheduled driver swap for the ACR Zakspeed runners.
I'll be coming back later, maybe.
He's still very active in the chat. Looks like he's
So bye.
I really hope he didn't. I really hope he didn't have traffic there.
Staying up and watching the race.
7 tenths down in the first section. I've caught him by 1.3 seconds.
I can't really say. Wait.
For those that have stayed up is
He had traffic.
make the decision if they want to watch the real F1 Grand Prix.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Get up for that, if they stay up
That
to
was
the end of
not
this race,
intended at all. There you go. Here's the race feed back again.
UK time, 3.
It would have been so much closer if it wasn't for that GT.
PM.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're only gonna get about.
Well, would have been a very, very easy one without the lag, without... Don't get me started.
See what Laptops are Roswood for doing at the moment. He's brought his 36s down to some 34s now. But it's still off his potential, I guess it's fair to say.
I think at this point, Evan's not even pushing the car hard. He's just super, super careful. Every curb, every thing that he could possibly hit, he's probably just staying miles clear.
Yeah. Doesn't really need to push it all, does he? It's just
he's not used to being in a winning position. not that I mean it in a bad way, but
yeah.
He had one of the most solid stints on their team. The middle stint he did during the night, he jumped in. Don't think he made really a single mistake. Consistent lap times all the way through. He did a really good job, and I'd expect the same again. But normally, obviously, coming from the F1 league, he was leading in Australia, so I do have to say that. But yeah, he's not commonly found in the lead. But I suppose that's what happens when you team up.
Yeah.
Well, he's shown
in that situation because I've been the, I'm not used to being in the lead either. I must say, personally. But when these things happen in these kind of races, you could find yourself in the lead or in a higher position than where you feel like you belong, just because your teammates have done a good job. So, yeah,
it does show that he has got the ability to keep his cool if he is at the lead of a race. So maybe if we do see it later in the race, he had a very good race, I believe, in Austria last time out.
Hey, Steam King. Hey, James. How are you doing, guys?
For the second time this season, but
so the gap is a minute and 33.
Yeah. Well, they'll make up for it next time out. Next weekend in Silverstone, so that'll be fine.
Watch this juicy catch me at my slipstream.
Yeah, exactly.
That these guys are used to driving.
It's
completely different dynamic to the race.
It's a big change up. Your main obstacle becomes the GP.
You catch even by another second, sector 1.
Now, track's fairly empty.
Keep doing that.
It'll be feeling completely
equaled him into sector 2.
Not many traffic, although
I had a GT at Tetra Rouge. He had nothing, and I've just got him by 10th.
Like the cars are sort of bunched up in packs at the moment.
But I crash now.
And then you've got one, the number 18, just out.
Yeah, just try keeping it clean.
On his own.
If we crash another time, it's GG.
Yeah, Evans in clear air at the moment. Ross
when it comes to the last 8 laps, I'm just going to go fucking full out for leather because we can't lose second place.
Yeah. Up to 2 GTs.
Unless we lose a wheel, then we can lose second place. Oh no, if you go for the last 8 laps, then no, we're fine.
Exactly.
Once again, for the 15th time, I believe. It's already been lapped 15 times by the Vulcan. And here comes the ACR car as well.
Oh dear, James. No, I didn't sleep at all, which is bad either.
No point for him not to stay out of the way, as we said. Then Ross will have another GT ahead of him until he as well will have quite a long stint of clear air, I think. We're just looking at the track now.
Thank you very much, David.
It's quite a bit of pressure as well, isn't it? As a driver in this kind of event, it's if you make a mistake, you're not only letting yourself down, you're letting several other drivers down as well.
Yeah, and I know how that feels. I brushed contact with a wall on my second stint in the night, entry to the Porsche curve.
Hey,
so
Chris Cobb.
One of the most high-speed corners on the circuit.
How you doing?
Went to turn
Good
in,
morning
car
to
did
you,
not turn in.
probably.
I was heading straight for
Could
the
be
wall.
9 a.m.
I don't even know what speed, but I thought I was about to put the car out of the race.
Region, the problem is that we do not have the streaming enabled. For some reason, there are technical issues on Ross's site, and Jack doesn't stream it because he doesn't have no equipment there. So that is probably why we have to show the race set or the race stream. Usually, I would love to show you the onboard of the ACR Zakspeed car, obviously.
Exactly, yeah.
But there is literally nothing I can do.
Big job to get the car to where it is at the moment. Just keeping the car running and.
Chris, honestly, we just dropped out of the lead due to some minor incidents, which turned around into major incidents just by bad luck.
You see that like you've had experience.
And yeah, apart from that, the GTE guys are still trying to catch the win. They're going to the end, whereas the Baker car just has to box again.
Either way, it'll feel bad.
And Lawrence is a good second quicker than Mr. Baker at the minute, so that is still open. It's still an hour and 10 minutes to go. We're gonna have a final driver swap.
How long left now?
5 laps.
You've got
in 5 laps time. The gap is 1 minute and 30, and we believe that the other car in the lead has to stop again, so do we. And yeah, right now, Ross, you did 1.5 seconds quicker. Good job, keep doing that. What about the fuel? Don't over-exaggerate on the fuel again, please.
I'm not even in mix 4 right now.
Can you use mix 4 though?
Closest gaps anyway.
I mean, little bits here and there, but like again, I'll probably just use it all on the in lap.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah, it's best to use it, you know, when you last do that.
Sadly, we're still low on fuel, low on the top speed. That's why we actually gonna change drivers again, because we believe the car is glitching. So once Jack is in the car, all the damages should be repaired. Probably because it was the fastest car there, David.
And there's the smallest gaps actually is between 11th and 12th. So that's Simona Ienapu in the GT there. Sten Ambus is about half a minute behind him. I think that was the case as well a long time ago, so that's not really changed much.
Just having a look at some of the lap times set. What's the fastest GT lap? That would be interesting to see which team set the
You're doing great, Ross. Even just did another 3:36. And you were quicker everywhere than him.
Yeah, he had traffic that last sector.
Yeah, you got 2 GTE cars into the Porsches. You should see them.
I guess that's why they're...
yeah, I just saw.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't get to them until after chicanes.
Yeah.
53.1 fastest lap for GTs in the race compared to the 3.
So even has another traffic there.
Piece by Mr. Craig Baxter.
I'm just scared they put in on Philip Krause again or something.
No, they won't. Philip's dead.
26.
Yeah, so am I.
In the classes in terms of the speed of the cars.
Ooh.
Especially on my back.
The Execurbate Rouge. Simone Iannaccio, or however you say the name. P11.
Iannaccio. Yeah, it makes sense to say Iannaccio, but I don't think I'm talking about a footballer. But
yeah, that's why I thought instantly as well.
I'm gonna call it the VD GT. It looks a lot like the VD Sport car.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
This is a nice car. Heading down now into the second Mulsanne chicane. The gap between Evan Wright and Ross Woodford is 1 minute and 18 seconds. So Evan's holding the gap. Evan's doing quite well. I'm just going to look at the race pace difference. well, actually, Evan Rice did go 3.7 seconds slower on that last lap than Ross Woodford. So, there may be another twist in this race before.
Oh, poor guy, disconnected now. He wants back in.
Rice has been doing 35 or 36.
What?
I think
Someone in GT's disconnected with like an hour and a half to go, whatever it is.
Oh fuck.
Potentially.
Sorry for the language.
Yeah, it could be something with that.
Speaking of disconnects,
14-2 in the first
I hope my
sector
router
is
does not
3
like
seconds
force
slower
itself to
than Ross
reconnect.
in the first sector, so
Oh, don't start me to talk about
extreme
internet.
fuel saving if that is the case.
Why?
Because I'm, conscious of that.
Number 12, possibly.
Yep.
Possibly. We'll
Ambus.
see from this middle sector, I guess.
Stam's been very
How long
very
left now?
He's been pretty much every couple of hours you'll see Stan Ambus in the car. So there's been some fantastic
About 3.5 laps.
Alright then, tell me when it's 3 laps and I will start learning the game.
Yeah, like the likes of Saul Sanchez. He's been round a heap. As we said, Stan Ambus, Tom Hooper, the people champion. He was here for quite some time before he unfortunately was disqualified and had to. Didn't have to head off. I think as soon as he saw that he was out the race, he was straight off to bed. We'll see who. I think what we'll do is we will see in the logs who does the longest in terms of time wise, which will be incredible to see because there'll be some fairly impressive times that will slip under the map, slip under the radar. I would think.
Yeah, that'd be very cool to see an overview of that at the end of the race. See who's been the biggest warrior in terms of the most amount of time in the car throughout this race.
We've actually had another retirement. MJ Racing, Maximilian Gunda is unfortunately out of the race, so something's happened there for them in the past couple of minutes, I believe, and has unfortunately resulted in them retiring from the race. It might have been a driver.
Right now, I see the race ends lap 394.
One of them
was a disconnection.
One of them pitted, and then it looks like they went out the first and they crossed.
So if it goes like that, the leading LMP car will cross the line for the last lap with 30 seconds to go.
It's quite unfortunate for them to fall short of the finish line. With almost just over an hour to go before we reach the much desired challenge by quite a few people. We'll be enjoying every lap.
Oh, yawn! I need to yawn too then.
It's been a long
Okay,
right now. It's been we had some teething problems at the start, but it provided a great start for a great race, which we have seen. Obviously, issues have sort of popped up every now and then throughout the race, but overall it's looked fairly good.
Good stuff, Ross. You took another 1.8 seconds out there.
Probably the thing I've been impressed with.
You're just doing what you're doing there. That's all great.
Yeah, just got a little bit scared for Evan Rice there for a second because he was kind of awkwardly going to the inside of one of the GT cars into the first chicane, I think, on the most.
I'm like nervous, like a naked Spitfire.
Contact.
Ross is currently lapping faster than him. I think he's, as I said before, I think he's just being super.
Just gonna be interested in what happens on the final pit stop there.
Getting to him, he's not as quick as he.
Loading the server up.
I'm pretty sure.
Drop the bottle. Fuck. Oops, sorry.
So that's kind of what I expected.
So 1 minute and 20 the gap is, and it keep decreasing and decreasing.
Yeah, he's in heavy traffic right now. I just took 2 seconds out of him in the first sector.
Yeah, that is great. The more you can take out, the less Jack needs to do. And fingers crossed the top speed is back up.
Oh, I'm gonna...
It was when I switched in, so I don't see why it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
The only reason that could make it worse is if it is linked to personal name or something. Like if my car would still go full throttle, but Jack's would not because it did not before. That is the only thing that I could think.
Yeah, that's the only thing that it could be if it doesn't get fixed.
Done the job to put the car where it is at the moment.
One thing to look out for, Ross Woodford. He's gone very long so far.
So,
need to stay out for
Jack, it's just
10 minutes.
78 seconds to catch, not even 80.
It'll be 60 something. It will be 70 something. Okay.
Remember, we have
is that
9
10?
seconds.
We'll see.
They're gonna have a
Yeah.
driver. No, they're not gonna have a driver swap, are they?
If it wasn't game over already,
I don't think so.
it might be the
I thought they were.
Definitely, yeah. I think
Dun,
if that is the
dun,
case,
dun.
yeah. We'll need to keep an eye on that.
Maybe he swaps tires by accident.
that's it. I mean, if you think there's a chance that he can get to the time,
Watch
1 hour to go.
just finish the race with 1.
Say again? 1 to
hour to
go?
go.
Okay.
I'll be fuel saving like mad just to make it happen, because even if it's going a bit slow,
It just took another 2 seconds out sector 1 only.
lose more time.
You're doing great,
His
Ross.
lap was a 36.8.
Yeah, he's just got through a massive pack of GTs.
Normally go 50. So
now he's got some clear tracks. We'll actually get to see what he's doing.
Could have done with a bit extra time and like.
True that.
yeah, it all depends if he's going to save fuel, I guess. Because of the damage, he's probably been using more fuel. Obviously down in the straight.
He just took fresh tires last time.
On the throttle for longer.
So they're good on tyres now.
Maybe he won't use.
I assume they did 458 out of the pits.
If he
Yeah.
does have that
Yeah.
extra lap, he should
That is
be
with
okay.
tire swap.
But if not, then having to pit with 1 minute or so to go is going to feel tough.
Well, maybe by accident he selects for another time. Kinda doubt it though, but I need to hope.
Definitely. As we are now,
Yeah.
less than an hour from the end of this race, of course. So we are at the 1 hour high point now, as Tim has graciously put in the chat.
That picture is actually a meme showing the garage being crowded with cars.
3 hours gone, 1 hour to go. Unfortunately for us, in terms of the things we've just been mentioning, we also get to the end with
I just realised on their pit stop they're going to take less fuel, so they're going to have a shorter stop than us.
If clever enough. Honestly,
make it even harder.
I'm not sure what they were really planning to do, because they could have easily done it with 1 further stop, but now they're doing 2 further stops, which actually puts us to doing the action what we are doing right now. If they wouldn't have come so early to the pits, we just would have let Ross go to the end.
Okay.
Yes.
I think he's saying in chat if he's actually DNF'd or not. So I've no idea what's happened with him. Okay.
Maximilian,
He just had a clean first sector, or maybe not a clean first sector. I've just taken another second out of him.
Turn 1, he had to overtake a GT, but he's not. I'm watching right now. He's not had traffic since.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the middle sector is a 108.1.
From 10th overall, 6th in GT class.
Yeah, clean first sector. Looks like he'll have a clean last as well.
Drives up for
Just me.
Can you tell Lorenz to get out of my way?
For World of Sim Racing Junior.
I don't quite think we'll make the 400 lap.
Lawrence, we got Ross coming. We're still trying to get the lead. Be aware, please.
Yeah, I know, but I can't slow down because we're trying to catch as well.
Yeah, I do know, but just try to make a clear move to somewhere. Do not make it a clusterfuck.
Imagine the lap count if we were at the track with a
That's literally all I want. Thank you.
Imagine the LMP1.
Nice.
That'll work?
No, I got held up in tumble zone.
We need another 22 laps after this.
Yeah, I mean, they are still trying to catch the leader.
Yeah, I understand.
In 15 minutes.
He's actually in the pits right now, their leader.
Yeah, roughly.
No,
Yeah,
I'm watching now. He's just crossed the line.
GT leader.
Yeah, the GT3 leader
35
appears
flat.
to be in the pits, yeah. Yeah, and that is what they are catching, or trying to catch. So they're literally on the very same run that we are. Would be nice if one could work out.
About the same spacing between the cars as well, Jesus.
Yeah. Like a carbon copy of the LMP2 race.
Bottle top racing. Feel free, Lazarus, to come and talk to us in the commentary box if you have anything.
So yeah, as Ross just said, we got the LMP2 car. Need to see for the further gaps, but I would say about 75 seconds separated from the lead. And a driver swap would be important because Jack, with a
This lap looks
fixed
like
car,
Evan will have no traffic or.
Yeah, even I would catch in.
Driving on pad in any game could translate over. But
Jack is able to do 31s, 32s
Yeah,
maybe.
I caught him by 1.1 seconds in the last sector.
Because that game, no offense to any Forza fanboys,
Oh,
that game is
geez.
horrendous.
Pit in the slap.
Yep.
Okay.
So, I couldn't drive the wheel, so I had to drive with the pad, and then I ended up not driving at all because I don't like driving with the pad.
On the pre-race dying,
But
Jack?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some guys are just talented with the pad and have driven it for hours and hours and hours in different games, and you know, I'm sure.
So just waiting for the gaps, as I said.
To any game, obviously, simulations,
Gonna see
like
it down there
game
anyway,
analysis, obviously,
but
it's
apparently
harder.
Ross Woodford has a gap of still 80 seconds as it stands here on the timer. Not sure whether that's right. And then we have a minute and 7 for the ACR Zakspeed GTE car for their leading class. So yeah, we're now gonna see what happens.
Or if it's just because you can't really feel when you're locking up the tires. So the more, obviously, the further you get in, normally towards maybe the end of, or maybe the middle of your second stint,
Going by 2
really
tenths.
big vibrations, and they're crazy down the straights. Obviously, the higher.
I'm using a bit of boost for now, though, so I guess that's right.
Yeah.
That's
What's
okay.
The fuel? What's the fuel?
Obviously,
3.3.
Where are you this time, though?
Second chicane.
Taking tires.
It's very marginal once again. Please don't over-exaggerate.
I won't use it anymore then.
I just
If you need to, just short shift.
White of Vulcan Racing, they believe, judging off their opinion, they think that Ross.
Tell me what's the exit of
in this race,
Muslan?
or else he's going to be very tight.
I'm just coming up to a GT interval down.
As I said before.
Yeah, use a little bit of boost to get by there. It's very important.
No, this guy always lets you through anyway.
1-2
Okay.
laps that you can't get quite to the end.
Have another GTE car into Indianapolis then.
I think.
So probably after Indianapolis, that should
probably
be.
not going to get to that one.
That should be before Porsche, if any.
No, I'm not going to get to that one.
I hope so.
Through their entire plans off, obviously lap time slower, everything. So.
Oh, this is getting excited here for me. Really.
Like may have timed theirs perfectly in terms of their last pit stop.
Alright. Quest, you'll stop and choose me.
I think he has to go once more for fuel. I don't know. If
Have been chosen.
So that could be an
Unselect tyres if possible.
Yeah, tyres done, fuel 75 litres, all good.
Right.
Yeah, obviously.
Fingers so much crossed that you reach the 300 and something on the line.
If he had
On a straight line.
Yeah.
They didn't change tires.
That is one meme of the race as well.
My death and my
I'm
cough.
not going to get to this GT.
Now you were. Well, my cough and my wheel like disintegrating.
Yeah.
Oh, boxing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna love the wheel though.
I don't think anyone.
Exactly like that.
No tyres for Evan Rice in the stop.
Please don't be in the same box as us.
They change tyres at the driver change.
Wow, they're completely fine then.
Yeah, another team.
Nice, good.
Against
You're doing very good. Very good, man.
You know, trying to keep
Good
their
job, Ross.
hopes up to
Nothing you could have done there.
catch up.
Oh, it's so annoying with that GT.
Yeah.
Good job, he's coming out of the pits now. Actually,
Anyway, take a rest. You've done outrageously good.
51 minutes. It's gonna be tight.
I think that before I crashed, I think that was the hardest I've pushed in any stint I've done.
Another interesting
That was
thing,
crazy.
the car ahead of him is,
Yeah, but you're very good.
Yanako,
Yeah.
7th in the GT class. 11th overall.
Now we
He
just
is,
fingers
I think he
crossed.
might- yeah,
I'm
he's
literally so no. I'm Christian Horner right now, to be fair.
moving up
With the feet,
Alright.
Yeah, with the feed.
to that P7.
Alright, come on, let's
Unfortunately for Snambus, they also
Unleash the fucking
smash
power.
this.
Most impressive thing that
It's a smash.
most impressive thing I have seen so far is Miguel Olivia. They were in a battle with ACR GT, or the battle of the for the lead of the GT class. They've now pulled out a minute gap on the ACR car in about an hour or so.
I'll tell you my speed at first. I don't know what normally is like on the first lap.
Likely to win the GT class here.
It should be around the 300 mark.
Yeah, we did of course see.
Maybe
even on the first lap.
Yeah.
So I say.
So 300 mark. If we do it, a plan went off. If not,
we tweeted about it. The ACR GT car moving to the lead of that class ahead of Racing Club Endurance Junior. Take that back. Yes.
Jack Keithley has went in the car for the final stint. So
First lap, heading to the first small turn chicane. It's
wait for it.
302.
Yes! Yes! Get in there. Push hard now.
Yes.
Big gap to close out, but of course Keithley.
Ah!
Hang on, my dad's in here, so no, but
has to pit again.
Ross was getting, because he had damage. He was getting. You were getting what, 396? No, 296.
296. Yeah.
I know. I was getting 296 too after I'd game with pair.
Yeah. So whatever it is, the glitch worked.
In the car.
Yeah.
Left the pit lane. I think is probably would have seen that. They'd be like, oh dear.
Yeah.
That is
So I'll tell you what, had we known that, Michi, it'd have probably been best if you got in the car. And I'd repair all that damage, so
yeah,
you would have been able to go at full speed, but we didn't know because the game weird like that.
The only ones that probably would have known is VD Sports.
Yeah.
That one, but yeah, so Jack Heatley into the car in the ACR for a final push to try and get close to the Vulcan. They are 2 minutes 12 seconds behind last
right,
time.
Jack, stint of your life.
It is a long.
I expect them to box again.
They will need to fill more fuel
into
ACR will if they have
apparently 384, 385 ish.
So the stock will be a bit longer, but surely not to the extent that ACR really needs
to
close the gap fully.
Yeah, forgive me if I use temp boost a lot.
As long as you don't run out of fuel, I don't care.
To be honest, though, that doesn't matter because we're not gonna. Once we get inside that 8-lap window to go,
we got.
YouTube set there.
If you make it to lap 387, we're safe.
Yeah, because with 8 laps ahead of third place, so it doesn't matter.
You're watching this for many hours. Maybe someone even have watched for the.
Doesn't matter if we run out of fuel.
Let us know, because then you deserve a shout out.
Just putting them under pressure.
To the organisers, to the stewards.
So, Mr. Chadwick has just confirmed that they knew just after the damage has magically disappeared. However, they knew. We didn't. Well, unless we... or until we magically pull that as well. So they are watching us quite closely anyway.
55, according to...
It's going to be interesting in how this is panning out, really.
There has been a 353 by Alvaro Baker at some point. It says the live timing goes back to...
if he's not... Thing is, if he's not currently on the... if he's not currently in the car, you might not see like some driver lap times, so there may be some missing.
Crap.
Obviously there'll be a big final results. You'll probably see the actual proper fastest laps, so we can confirm who actually got them. But Ross isn't happy with what he's put on Twitter about the GT that he had an incident with.
I'm not sure about that. Obviously, we only saw it from the spectator camera, I believe. Maybe it looked different from his view, of course. But if I was in, no offense, Ross, if I was in your shoes, I would not have stuck my nose on the inside of the fast left through the porticos, because that's quite dangerous. Right, so the GT might have been not expecting it, and well, if not dangerous, it's definitely risky, I would say. A risk that probably didn't need to happen, but of course, in a pressure situation like this, you want to lose as little time as possible at any given time. So it's a racer's instinct to go for every opportunity that they see.
Half a second gain into sector 1. You're doing great. The biggest time gain is probably right after their pit stop. That is when their car is heavy and we are lower.
Yes.
The Vulcan stretching its legs, 2 minutes 16 between Keithley and Rice. Number 9.
What is the gap saying to you?
Another stop for ACR.
Yeah, so
yeah,
maybe Evan Rice may potentially be able to lap Jack Keithley here.
I think they both have to stop once more. Obviously, Evan still needs to come in, so the gap.
2 minute 9.
To come in at the end. All depends if he has to come in at the end or not. But it will be pressure on Evan, especially if Jack puts in the fastest. If he puts in as fast lap times as he was. Not the last time he was in the car, because obviously that didn't go as planned, but the time before that.
Right, then that gap is then 1 minute and 10 probably.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on how
At least we tried.
it develops. So now Michi Hoyer saying in the chat that they think they are going to the end. They're going to try to go to the end.
Could be race on then.
Yeah, could be race on, certainly. It's last time by crossing the line, it was 2 minutes 9 seconds.
I guess if they do run out of fuel anyway, risking it, they won't lose a position. So, I mean, if it's their only chance, then
very good point.
Then why not? I guess it really depends when the timing is going to fall. Because you need to, if the leader crosses the line with say 10 seconds left, you still need to go another lap. So,
yeah, exactly. At 8 laps ahead of P3, Sal Sanchez running there in the JBM team.
I don't think that they'll. I think the top 2 now are set. Wouldn't imagine that the JBM team would be able to make up that time if they were to run out of fuel.
8 laps is about 24 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, so they'd have at least 20 probably have at least 20 minutes of 20 minutes worth of fuel as Dennis Van Veen comes into the pits. The 4th placed LMP car, the Royal Blue car, 15 laps down. Coming into the pit lane now.
2 seconds. Yep. Great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the top 2 just need to get.
This lap we're going to have no traffic.
24 minutes remaining in the race, and they will have guaranteed them.
I think.
But of course, neither of them can rest. ACR want the win. They are pushing hard to try and get it. Especially the driver change to get Jack Keithley back in the car. Shows their intentions there.
A very tired Michi has his calculations. He says 394 laps will be done, and they expect Evan to cross the line for the final lap with 25 seconds to go. So we'll see how accurate that is. Maybe, may not. We need to wait and see. It'll be interesting.
Evan has to do many laps by then, and at slightly different pace, you would think. But yeah, we'll see how close it'll be. I'll be on that one. Last few laps, Evan Rice has done a 33 now. Finally, that's the first 33 is done. 33.8 since he got back in the car. So he's certainly not resting, even if he has the potential to go faster as well. Jack Keithley has done 332.3 in his first flying lap after coming back out.
When I get to the line, I just want to tell you my fuel.
5 seconds faster than Evan Rice there. Probably looking to either go to the end or going slowly enough just to make sure that he does not crash.
It is going considerably quicker, but with this time remaining, I don't know. I mean, Evan's not going for tyres, so he's going to lose maybe 40-50 seconds maximum in the pit lane total time. But it will obviously, if that gap does, what is the current gap on what it says right now?
7.5.
If that does come under
6.2, 60.29.
Kevin panic, but we'll see.
60.29, that is 0.29 over target, so you're fine.
The whole of 23 hours.
Alright.
Almost 23 and a half.
You run out of fuel at the end of lap 394. And I expect you to cross the line into lap 394 with a 0:00 on the clock, but if Even does not pull out, that is going to be the final lap. However, if he pulls out, that 393 is the final lap.
So mention
okay.
Little mention of MJ Racing.
I think that's the game.
They have indeed retired. They are the most recent retirement, which means we are now 16.
Once I said, like I said, when we get into 8 lap to go window, we've got at least a minimum of second in the bag. So
glitch stuff going on as well. We think at this previous pit stop.
Yeah.
Red Aston, of course, we saw his one of his teammates.
I would like to finish though, rather than roll out.
Germanis, who had a very interesting situation. About midway through the race, when he came together with another GT car, they both flipped up into the air. I think it was through the portico somewhere, and Skimanis
took away 3 seconds there. Good stop.
Outside of the barrier on the grass, had to drive, quite a distance along the barrier on the outside just to find the gap. Luckily, they found the gap, so he managed to rejoin the track.
Yes, James, we just pitted.
Had to retire from damage. But Skimanis actually managed to carry on.
Yeah, Kieran Chatwick, to you guys, obviously, once you're finished, good job as well, but we're not finished yet.
There's been a lot of throughout the race as a whole. There's been a lot of battles, there's been a lot of position changes, there's been a lot of drama. Really, it's just that obviously when the race is 24 hours long, it tends to get relatively spread out between each instance of such drama happening.
Yeah, I'm just looking here at Jack Keithley. 2 minutes 11 seconds behind the leading car of Evan Rice. Evan Rice, time-wise, doing 33.6s, so he's about 3 seconds slower than Jack Keithley a lap, but I think he's got such a margin now over Keithley that it won't really seem to matter. I'm going to go on board, looking at my camera, with Evan Rice on the bonnet cam, just to see the car flying around the Circuit de la Sarthe with 38 minutes remaining in the race. He's gaining on a GT car now. He's going to go and overtake them up on the inside on the Mulsanne straight. But it has been a sensational race for Vulcan. They've played the strategy pretty well, considering that they had 5 drivers to get 3 hours per driver in throughout the course of the entire race. So they've managed to make the strategy work. I think it probably could have worked a bit better in hindsight. Obviously, they've had to sort of rush 2 drivers into the car to get their minimum hours up, but they've managed to do so. Obviously, with them getting to the end of the race, they've been rewarded now with what looks to be the race win. Things have gone wrong from here. In real life racing, obviously 2016, the LMP, I believe it was the Toyota, was it, or the Porsche?
Toyota, at least, has had some very bad luck in recent months.
Pulled over on the start of the final lap, but hopefully we don't encounter anything like that for Vulcan. They seem to be going fairly well. Evan Rice going about
another 2 seconds, Jack. That's great.
Alone, but Jack Keithley's gone over the start-finish line, and Evan has gone through the Mulsanne corner already, heading down towards Indianapolis. So there's a fair old gap there for Evan Rice.
Certainly.
All we now can do is push hard and wait and see.
Racing Club fan in the chat. They have 2 teams running in the GT class, and they are both still into the race. So that's very impressive indeed. Doing a good job, and of course, their junior team, interestingly, is currently leading the GT class and extending the gap as well to ACR's GT team. They're still in the same lap, It's about 50 seconds between them, according to the recent live timing update. It's not a big gap, really. ACR doing a good job to sit in second place in both categories at the moment. But the Racing Club is the team to beat as it stands in the GT class with just 36 minutes to go in the race. So speaking of the ACR GT team, actually, they are into the pits as we speak, so that'll be their final pit stop.
Gonna find a GT on the approach to Indianapolis.
Sure, if Oliveira or Racing Club will have to pit again. He pitted about 6 laps ago, so he might be close on that one.
You'll end off the lap, please.
Yeah, I think I might get him going through Porsche curves. I can't see him.
He crossed the Vector 2 line when you went for the first right-hand king after the Muslan.
Trying to figure it out.
Okay.
You just went into apex of Indianapolis when you crossed the Vector line.
Something's going on there.
Fair enough. I'll get him on the exit of Porsche curves. So.
Even is now hitting some traffic.
Oh, Shattered Wind Shield Racing, that is Dan Ambus, of course. He's running in 11th overall at the moment. And he's ahead of Simon Iannacco. We saw, of course, Iannacco in the pits a while ago. That's when they swapped around. He was in the pits at the same time, I think, as ACR changed driver from Ross Woodford over to Jack Keithley. See, Ambus, does he have to pit again? I think he does.
On fuel the lines, 550.08.
9 they came out. We're now on lap, well, he's on lap 341, obviously, in the race overall. We are on lap
50.08.
85 now with the leaders of the LMP class.
Was that 50.08?
Yes.
Very marginal.
Pit again, and the gap from Ambus to Iannacco is about 40 seconds, so he might actually lose that position when he has to pit again. So we have now 4th in GT class, Tony Mallett coming out of the pits, having been through there. That is the Race Clutch team. Of course, Race Clutch, we know that team. Well, I would say especially the Formula Renault League on iRacing that we have now.
They should need a box very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, the leading GT, quite a ways ahead.
Took away 1.5 seconds, sector 1 only.
Seconds, the
Good
gap
stuff.
between the two drivers. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic win here for.
So he had traffic into the 3rd sector.
GT.
Yeah.
We've got Miguel Oliveira at the helm at the moment of the Racing Club.
Yeah, I'd go on the outside of the GT. I still gain a little bit.
Junior. It's the junior one, so they're beating.
Yeah, he did a 14.8
the senior team
last last lap.
dragging their car up
And a
to
7.75 in the middle sector.
and 5th overall.
Okay.
Which is,
You got another GTE
that's
car
sensational.
probably
Yeah,
towards the Porsches now.
of course, Pizzo and the
Sorry guys in
Fair
the
enough.
chat.
was of course for
And then
currently a
I've
bit
got
busy.
Clear track for a good, for like 35, 40 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that you were pushing quite hard.
But things have happened, issues have happened, glitches have happened, and now it is Vulcan and
Tony, I
racing,
believe the leading car still
Racing
needs to
Club.
box again. Otherwise, I would not know how they would do 20 laps
We actually have
in a row
a guy in the interview box now.
without boxing. So it's either that lap, but at the very latest, let me see. They boxed last time.
So
that was
quite sure who he
lap
is.
374. So
It's Matthias
389
Gordon,
is the
retired,
very
in
least.
the opening lap
390,
of
if any, is the very least
really?
point of time where they could box,
I don't
but
think you will be
the
able to
race
add
will
that
definitely
much.
go to lap 394, 393, 394. Gonna
I
see.
don't think he's. I think
Finally made his way. He's been looking for the interview box all this time.
He's
Finally
literally
found it.
walked. Yeah, I
Wow,
don't
took
know,
away
what
3.5
he
seconds.
wants
That's
to
great
chat
stuff
about,
there.
because, well, he's been out
The
the
gap's
race now
falling.
for about,
Just
2-3 odd
45
hours,
seconds
so-
net, I would say. Is it gonna be enough?
Just might as well bring him in and ask him. Don't have too much else to look at the moment.
We'll drag him in. You might as well. I'll grab him now. Oh, there we go. Matthias? Oh, is he here? I mean, I've been here.
The Dane is here.
I'm here.
He's here. After 23 hours and more out of the car. What's going on? How are you holding up?
Not that good.
Oh.
If I can do that time with no boost, with 45 litres, and yeah, we're doing 29s when I get down to about 20.
Was it an engine failure that resulted in you DNFing from the race?
Say again?
Yes, I think it was.
If I can do, I just done a 30.2, I think 30.3. If I could do that, 45 litres, then yeah, on 20, I'm going about half a second faster.
Yeah, you're doing great though.
I lifted off the throttle, and then the car by itself went into gear, and it exploded, and then suddenly I was in the monitor. I couldn't.
Need to push a little bit more hard to put them more on the pressure there.
Yeah.
That's not the way you wanted to start this race. That's fair to say.
Yeah, that was a violent, very quick.
I've got clear track now for a good while.
Yeah, he just got a clear track
the
as
team,
well.
Up until that point, how was the team going in the car? But
Sanchez in the box doesn't really impede us.
Might not be very relevant.
You got a clean track for a mile, really. Hammer time, man.
That was Team Iris, I suppose.
My fuel lap last
they're
lap,
boxing.
by the way,
They are boxing.
Oh, yes, they're in. My fuel last lap, I was 4.79.
Oh, you started
More back to normal.
Yeah, so,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
My lap was invalid, so I couldn't use it.
Okay, but
and he nearly pinned it into the pit entry. Lost like 4 or 5 seconds there.
Oh, Evan Rice.
Okay.
Lost time. He's spun
Keep
on
going.
the pit lane we're hearing, but he's going to be pitting from the lead of the race is Evan Rice. But I was just about to ask you, Matthias, that obviously you race in the
fingers
F1
crossed.
division in rFactor 2 with Wolf Racing. We head to Silverstone next weekend. How do you feel heading towards that circuit?
Well, I won't say it's my best track. I'm still learning the car. I'm still learning how the series progresses. I will say it's a great series, but I'm still learning a lot. I can't keep up with Craig and Kieran, so there's a lot for me to gain. But I'm hoping for some points.
Well, yeah, that's obviously it would be a good race to have. Yes, some points in Silverstone, but I guess we'll see in a week's time when we do get underway for the British Grand Prix. But apart from that, I don't know. Really
What's the actual gap? About 45, right?
DNFing on the
Don't know. I'll see when I get to the line.
Thrown all my questions out the window, really.
I'm not sure it was worse, really. DNFing at the start of the race or DNFing late in the race when you actually done a lot of work to get there. At least your team didn't have to ruin their sleep schedule or anything. That's the only positive, I would say.
1 minute 47.
I think
1 minute 47 still.
Would have been to have raced for 23 hours.
Yeah, that would
and
change.
45 minutes.
Right.
Game crashes.
Yeah.
That's going
Yeah,
to
gonna
be
see what their pit exit
anyways,
sector 1 is. I'm sure
to that point in the race,
they did short till they were stationary, not as long as you would have done in the normal circumstances.
Yeah.
We're of course hoping that all the 16 drivers remaining now will make it to the end.
So
thank
instead
you.
of a
I was
sub
gonna say
minute
thank you very much
2
for
or
Tess
a
for
2,
coming in
hey,
and having
actually
a
they
wee little
no,
chat about
it
your
was the wrong car. Sorry.
24 seconds of Le Mans. Probably,
I'm getting way too
more,
excited
appropriately
here.
24 hours, but we'll see you next week for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone.
Yeah, we will.
So
See ya.
Wait,
I haven't got any
well, there we go.
sector
Matthias
time
Gallagher.
from them.
Very quick retirement from the race.
Fuck.
He has the record.
You won't
for
on the first
in
lap.
the first ever AOR 24 hours. Of
Yeah,
Le
but
Mans,
usually
so that's
on the live timing you should get still one from the
One-
first lap.
on 1 minute
And
1.
while we were talking to him, Evan Rice has been through the pits, as we saw. So
that's still a huge gain on, even though they don't
the end
pits.
of the race now.
They did it
Less.
sub 2 minutes, so of
so we'll
a
see
minute
the set gap
56.
between
So
Rice
they
and Keithley,
saved literally 4 seconds from refueling less.
Under 50 seconds.
They
And then
refuel
it's
too
just
much
up to
still.
Over a minute, and then
By the
15
way, we've
seconds
reached
in
a
the
safety
lap, so we'll
point.
get a more correct timing as Keithley.
So now we have a guaranteed second. Right.
ACR GT
I
car in
believe
the
so.
fifth Odyssey.
If you
Okay.
finish that
A
lap,
couple
we
laps
should
ago.
have it.
Yeah.
Went through the pit lane. He's of course second in the GT field, behind Racing Club, who still are looking set to win that, barring any problems in the final stages there. Don't know if they will have to pit again. Actually, I do think. No, actually, no, I don't think so. It's not that long ago since Miguel Oliveira was through the pit lane. So they might be able to make it to the end.
Yes, 24 minutes left in the race. The 24 hours of Le Mans becomes the 24 minutes left here at Le Mans.
More like the 24
It's been,
memes
a
of Le
sensational
Mans.
race. I'll be coming up to the end of my
Run 24 hours of Le Mans,
commentating on the
24
race, so-
memes.
Yeah.
I've seen the sunset.
Took out a second in the middle
sunrise.
sector. You're flying now.
Rookie
It's
number
crunch time.
Yeah.
That was Ricky compared to a broadcaster, of course. He's been up here since the start. Good old Minor. He's. I don't understand how he's not sleeping.
Now
at the
he's
moment,
caught
but,
up in
the camera
traffic.
is still changing on the screen, and it's still making sounds in our ears. So there's still some life in him. He's not even really tired. No, there you go.
He's just entered a state of just utter confusion. It's like it's just like it just entered as like, oh, everything's really bright and.
Can we have fuel update?
35.47.
Perfect. 0.47 to spare.
But,
Obviously,
Evan
goes
Rice now
down now in steps of 5.
onto the Mulsanne straight. There's a minute gap, I believe, between Rice and Keithley.
Yeah,
If Keithley wants to make it to, I think the only chance that Keithley and ACR Zakspeed have got a chance of winning this race is if Keithley can go to the end and Evan Rice has to pit again. If there is contact, there might be a longer pit stop involved for Evan Rice, so there could potentially be a
look at the lap
twist.
time for Keithley. He's really pushing hard. 3:29.5.
It's a front bumper in the middle of Mulsanne.
Since we saw 29.
Oops.
Yeah.
A 4 minute 18.
Evan just pitted, remember? So
Yeah,
he's done his final stop and he's going to the end for sure.
I know, but I'm like really going as I can.
It's gonna be slim if they're gonna make it to the end, especially with how fast he's driving. He's gonna be burning through the fuel.
So tell our teammate to get out of the way if he.
It's gonna be tight if he makes it.
Yeah, I try.
But he's
Get it
going
on.
fast.
You're still on the run for your position. Otherwise, Jack is coming flying from behind.
Within this, it's enough time left in the race for
Yeah, let him to know.
Sanchez
Thank
running
you.
on the final podium spot at the moment for JBM. But he's at 8 laps
Should
down.
be sorted.
So even if Keithley was to crash his car as hard as he possibly can into the wall, end the race right here, there's still going to be P2 in this race. So, you might as well go for it if you run out of fuel in the final lap, knowing that you did go.
Yeah,
for it,
Robin.
really
Honestly.
Well, the gap at the moment, let's check it. It's sitting at 58.6 seconds as Keithley is on the Mulsanne straight. Evan Rice heading down towards Indianapolis. So
Is this going to be ever so close in the end?
it's difficult, I think, for Keithley to do this. He needs to rely on something to happen to Evan Rice. Evan Rice he's going to be passing a GT car. He may have actually just passed it now. Yep, he's going to go up on the inside of the Smash Windscreen racing team. So Evan Rice now, I would imagine, will possibly
we're
be
definitely
gonna
go
lap traffic. The next car ahead
394
is an Aston, and then it is the Saul Sanchez in third place, which may be a bit harder to overtake. So Evan Rice just got to keep the car on the road.
And you are also in the
And
position
I
to
reckon
force
they'll
them
be
into
able to
lap
bring this car
349, I believe.
across the line first.
Alright.
I don't think we'll see too many position changes really at this point. Obviously, most of the cars spread out. We're still in the situation in the GT field where P1 in GT down to say P9 in that field is, there are several laps apart in total, but from one car to the next, it's always under a lap. So, that's quite good to see. Stan Ambus for Shattered Windshield Racing, he has the smallest gap to the car ahead at the moment with just over half a minute.
I'm sweating the hell out of me. Be right back.
And that could be a potential. That's the only potential I see, unless Keithley is able to catch Evan Rice with some superhuman pace. Ambus, if he pits, he might be close to Ian Nako, actually.
We did talk about superhuman pace.
Go on!
I'm going to look over here at the monitor.
We're on fire!
We're
so damn on fire.
Ooh. I think my eyes are actually giving up on me at this point in the race.
No, don't think he has.
Great stuff, Jake. 5 seconds taken out there.
Looking for a 10-1, 6-4, 11-3.
6-4 up. He's like 6 tenths off, but Keithley's now coming through the final corner. What's he going to do here for his time? It's going to be a 3 minutes 29.5 on that lap.
Thank you. By the way, you just referred to me as Jake.
He's done a 3:29.3 now.
Me?
You just said Jake.
No, Jack. Come on, Jack. Get the Jag out of you, Jag.
And the second fastest time of the entire race, behind obviously your time, Craig, that you set about 10 hours ago?
Probably about 15 now, to be honest. was I think 8 p.m. or so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've lost track of time.
Oh, it's actually now Monday in Australia. Okay, there you go. It's Monday apparently.
What's the gap?
For some, it's Monday.
Gap is 51.0 behind.
No, we just got 5 laps.
Because of this race.
Not sure whether we make it.
It's the AOR day.
I mean, we try.
Let's just keep pushing to the very end.
Yeah.
2 people waiting in the interview box now. Tip, of course, has been out of the race for a while. And
Keno, stop hoarding. They're like hoarding around. I don't think we're going to do any more interviews because we're going to carry through now to the end of the race, and then hopefully we can speak to, if the whole team is awake, the winning team. At the moment is looking like it's going to be the number 9 Vulcan Racing Team. Evan Rice, Max Shepard, Philip Kraus, Nick Brackey, Kian White, the 5 drivers taking part for that team.
Again, took away 2 seconds, sector 1.
So we shall see if they are. If not, we may speak to probably Ross Woodford and Jack Keithley if they can somehow overhaul these two. Overhaul the
that LMP,
the red
cost of a shit time.
Yeah, if any other racing club junior team drivers, of course, in the GT class, are watching this as well and want to speak to us, then feel free to. But just from looking at the names, it does look pretty Spanish. But if you do speak English, then more than want to hear something from you as well at the end of this race.
We are 1,423 minutes into the race.
Wow, Jack is absolutely flying.
Having a look at the sector times.
Pushing the hell out of the car there. Doing great.
In terms of his overall pace, but he's still going substantially faster than Evan Rice.
Yeah,
honestly, you're just doing the best stint I ever saw of anyone in that race.
But Keith, they could have done with a few more laps. Not for the sake of making his fuel tank fast at the end, potentially, but just for the sake of having more time to catch Evan Rice, because... Oh, actually, we have Stan Ambus now in the pits from 7th in GT. Is this going to be a swap for that position? 11th overall, of course.
Caught out 6 seconds, go on.
He's coming towards the Porsche curves.
48 seconds, it's a big gap to gain.
It's a big gap to gain. Ambus, if he's got an efficient pit stop there, and he doesn't really need to add a lot of fuel, of course, with only 16 minutes to go in the race, so it could be a...
traffic. Lost me a second and a half.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Faster, 29.2
Oh, yeah,
now.
I think like 3 or 4 straight laps in 29s. I'm very chuffed.
Brilliant stuff there. Brilliant stuff.
Quick stop for Stan Ambus.
It's a purple final sector.
There we go. There you have your purple sector. So Stan Ambus is out of the pits again for shattered windshield racing, and he is ahead of Simon Iannaccio.
Yeah, they're going into the forward chicanes. Yeah,
Yeah.
so no chance there. Obviously, Ambus, more fuel, fresher tyres potentially, will allow them to pull that gap, and will finish in 11th overall. You would think, that is.
Yep. So he doesn't make a mistake now in the final 15 minutes. Keithley, 46 seconds to gap last time by. It's really coming down, and it's coming down fast. It's just that unfortunate for him. For ACR, the gap still is quite large, and it's not long to go now in the race.
The fact this gap is under a minute is insane.
They could
considering
get
all the problems
close,
we've had.
considering the gap that I did have to them only a couple of hours ago.
Come on, Jack.
So, yeah, we've got Keithley down to 48 seconds behind the Vulcan racing car of Evan Rice.
But really, even if 40 to 45 seconds sounds like a big gap in any normal race, that would be a humongous gap. Of course, at this stage of the race, when it's this short left, it is a kind of a humongous gap. But considering that Vulcan and ACR are this close, when we have driven around for 23 hours 45 minutes, that is actually quite astonishing when you think about it. Especially with that many different drivers in the car as well throughout the 24 hours.
Yeah, it's incredible the fact that they've rotated to the point now. So many different drivers, so many different strategy and like fuel, tires, everything like that. And you come out.
Probably gonna hit another GT3E in a bad spot.
You're only 45 seconds off the car.
Well, nothing we can do.
It's incredible for that to happen. I think Justin was doing some calculations with certain gaps when he was commentating, and he was saying like it was 1% of the overall race there was a difference between people. It's just so close. It's such a fine gap, and if you really do want to win this race, you have to pretty much flawless in everything you do. There's no real margin for error, because even though this is such a long race, if you do start to make mistakes, they're going to have ripple effects that are going to happen throughout the entirety of the rest of the race. If it happens in the first hour, if it happens in the 20th hour, it's going to have ripple effects. We saw that with the driver change issue, I guess, or the sort of the conflict.
Meanwhile, I'm afraid that
Vulcan.
the
They had
GTE
5
car of
drivers
ACR
that had to
Zakspeed
get
has
3
no
hours
chance
each,
all in the first.
and so they had to have
Gap
2 drivers
is a
in the
minute
last
and
2
40
hours,
seconds,
drive the car.
so that is
Obviously,
about
everyone racing
done.
to take the car to the checkered flag. 45 seconds separates the top 2.
Well, Jack is definitely having
We're
fun, I
on the
would say.
391st lap of this 24-hour of Le Mans. But we shall see as we've got 11 minutes and 10 seconds left in the race. We believe that when the clock strikes 0, the next time that they will pass the checkered flag will be the checkered flag. Sorry, when they do pass the line for the next time, it will be the checkered flag. So it'll be very interesting to see if we have to. Maybe Evan Rice might be looking like he is gonna pass the checkered flag to pass the line. Sorry, before the checkered flag falls, and he might just back off a little bit and maybe lose 10 or so seconds just to make sure that the race ends quickly. Because you don't want to, if the race goes for long enough, 24 hours, you don't want to have to go for another lap just for the sake of going for another lap.
Yeah. And we are on lap 391.
Sensational,
and
amazing.
Come to Michi Hoyer, we will have 394 laps total in the race. He's still holding on to the fact that Evan Rice will cross the line with 25 seconds to go in the on the time. Which means there'll be 24 hours and 3 minutes in terms of the...
I'm gonna kill myself actually if that prediction of 25 seconds is about right.
Hopefully. I think Evan Rice I actually have now, just in my mind, figured out why Evan Rice is driving so
right, Jack,
slow.
I called it.
Fuel, so he can do donuts at the end.
I do believe we enter the last lap 394 with 25 seconds to go in that race.
So
literally told it in the chat, and they're calling it out.
To be his first rFactor 2 win.
Fingers crossed I'm right.
At all in the F1 division. Has got a podium in Australia. He was part of a KRT 1-2 with Kieran Chadwick, who was driving for VD Sport, his teammate in Formula 1 League. But
you'll update?
Evan Rice teamed up with various drivers in
give me a moment.
In the F1 League, and they put a team together who miraculously, I don't think you would have expected. They were part of that 4-car list that I sort of put out at the start of the race, saying
15.27
ACR were going to be the 4 cars going for it. Obviously, we've lost 2 of those due to some technical issues.
Great stuff.
Starving VD of what was most likely going to be a certain win. But
wow.
We have seen that
3:28.8.
we were pretty much correct with
6 seconds again.
With ACR and Vulcan being there at the end. Saul Sanchez, I don't think if you were to say that to them at the start of the race, oh yes, you know what, you're going to come at the end of the race in 3rd overall, and I think they would take that.
Currently 3/10 up on this lap.
Obviously a race of attrition, and
say again.
Survived.
I'm 3/10 up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ridiculous.
People have. Well, there's all sorts of things.
Where's the pace coming from? Don't tell me it's clean air only.
Level hit, and they've just come through, and they're going to complete the race, hopefully. Well, they will finish in 3rd. I don't think Dennis Van Beelen will catch the 8 laps that he is behind in the 8 minutes left in the race. So it's a 3rd place for JBM, but the final the top 2 positions, they're still not quite as close as Keithley has closed about 20 seconds in the past 5 or so laps.
Come on, come here, you undeserved fucker.
Certainly. I'm just scrolling through Twitter quickly. I've forgotten to make any further AOR Twitter updates.
1.7 seconds, sector 1. What's the gap?
So,
36.5.
Brings news out there when we see who will win this race, and it's not long to go until we will know. Only 8 minutes remaining. Plus whatever is left of that final lap at that point.
Should be 2 to go after this lap.
And,
yeah,
we have to say, of course, you know, we started the race with 41 cars, 16 remain, which first of all highlights the fact that how big of an achievement it is to actually make it this far. That's all. Regardless of what your pace has been, just to keep that car running for this long, without retirement, without terminal crashes, and of course without ending up affected by glitches or connection issues. You have to feel, of course, for all the teams that have been affected by things out of their control, like connections, driver swap glitches, and whatnot. You know, it's as organizers, as commentators, I'm sure as drivers as well, that nobody wants to see any other team or driver.
If that's our GT car in front of me, move out of the way.
I put a lot of effort into
if that's ours,
preparing for.
No, it isn't.
A lot of drivers and teams involved, but it is part of online racing. Unfortunately, it's something that just has to be accepted.
Damn it!
Things can go wrong. Everyone is doing their best to make things go as little wrong as possible, of course, but some things just cannot.
Oh, don't you dare get in the way.
Unfortunately.
What you're saying about everyone.
I'm about to do a
trying to listen to
38-2.
so many people involved in this production over the course of
You need
the
a
past
28-2.
maybe 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, 28-2,
when
yeah.
The event was originally announced. There's so much work has gone in.
Fucking
There's so many
scrubby
people, and
bastard.
There's a lot of people to thank, but they've all.
I know, only a
greatly
29-2.
appreciated
No, it should be.
There's many people that have been very thankful for the event, the fact that the event's been put on, and it's great that we've obviously had some issues, but it sets down a fantastic baseline if we are going to pursue some more potential endurance races into the future. But yeah, we shall see. Watch this space, I guess.
Definitely. Mr. Keith Leonard coming around the final couple of chicanes, going past Tony Mella there in the P4 GT car.
No, it's the second last lap.
Whatsoever. So the gap now between the top two and LMP down to 35.4. Keith Lee is
So good on fuel.
Unbelievable pace.
Final lap coming up soon, I believe.
The lap before that at 3:28.
Yeah, next lap.
I assume the second.
Done 10 liters.
Unless someone else in the sport team did a fast one.
No, there was no one that went as quick as what Keithley's going, apart from Craig Baxter. Keithley actually went purple in the first.
Currently, I'm on 8.55 litres.
That was almost
should be enough.
As I cross the first sector split.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. It's still remains to be seen, of course, if Keithley can get his fuel tank to the end of this race. Going to be a close one, as we know. But yeah, as we mentioned, even if he runs out of fuel now, he will stay in P2, given the gap to third place Sales Sanchez. And the JBM team is quite large, and of course Sales Sanchez as well has a comfortable gap to Dennis Van Balen. So those positions are actually Sales Sanchez's third place is actually confirmed now, because he can't catch anyone, he can't get caught by anyone in the final 5 minutes out. So
yep, they'll be cracking over the champagne. To JBM. It really is a very interesting tale for JBM. They did have a GT car, I believe, in the race. It didn't even make it to the start.
Apparently
it's sort of a tale of two cars, really.
What was that saying?
One car is going to make it to the end. It's going to be finishing third overall. The other one didn't even make it to the start of the race. Unfortunately, was out on the formation lap. So it's
it should now at some point say final lap. Or one to go. If it goes for an extra lap, we're fucked.
6 seconds left in the race.
Shouldn't go for an extra lap. We're inside the window. It takes to complete a lap. Next lap should be the last lap. When he crosses the line, it's going to be about 2 minutes to go.
He is actually, as we say,
or 2:10. The next lap will be the last lap.
The Porsche curse, so this should be the penultimate lap of the race, you would think.
Yeah, it should be.
They say this is the penultimate lap right now.
He's now encountering some GT cars. It's just a
final. God, say bloody Aston bollocks.
It's getting close. Evan Rice there.
I think the whole Volker team will be watching the stream. They'll be just seeing that. They'll just be going, oh. And good to see the ACR car doesn't want to get involved and try and get its big brother in the LMP to win, but gets out the way. Which
that would be some teamwork if the ACR GT now had taken out the Vulcan.
Yes, this is the ACR GT team. We need you to take him out.
We're across the line with 5.13 litres.
Final lap of the race, we believe. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on the
clock. I think this should be final lap to go now.
0 by the time he comes round the final 4 chicanes, but it's been a fantastic race for Vulcan Racing.
This should come up on the bottom final lap of the race as soon as the hit timer hits 0.
To get them in second place.
Otherwise, back off.
Qualifying behind the VD of who was Craig Baxter in the end for the qualifying.
So second place
started the car
that we've had.
for Vulcan, and then handed it over, I believe, to Max Shepard, and then he did about three and a half.
I'm remaining 1 minute.
They just rotated throughout the entire race. Obviously, some slower drivers.
Less than 30 seconds.
Placed at certain points to minimise
the race. Oh, shut up, Wheel! Not now.
They were about a lap behind the VD, which was leading the race by some margin. But since the VD conked out of the race, the Vulcan has really become quite impressive. They they got that lap back, and then they fought pretty much 2 minutes to get themselves then ahead of the ACR car that was originally in second place, and then they've now gapped them by.
No, Dad, stop.
But Jack Keithley is
Stop being a
actually
dick.
quite quickly, so
Normal.
but won't be close enough, I would not think, to.
I'll refrain from using boost for now.
But it's been a fantastic race for them. All 5 drivers deserve this result because it's been sensational.
Yeah, really well done.
Time is now at 0.
They've made the least mistakes. They've had the had the least issues.
There's nothing like a white flag anywhere.
Yeah, identified at the start as the.
We're gonna see very soon what's the fuel.
That is the reason they are at the moment.
That's not to say they didn't have any incidents at all.
No.
Philip Krause went off into the wall at India.
The fuel's currently 2.20.
And it collided
Yeah,
with
let's see
I believe.
what happens
There's been
with the
incidents
leading
aplenty
car.
for every single
Yeah, because
driver.
either I dive into the pit lane or carry on.
This is the
Exactly.
clock, strike 0.
Just in case it dives, I'm just going to just put the fuel down.
So we shall now see if we're
24
going
hours
to.
later.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
So exactly
So
24
yeah.
hours ago now, we were sitting here in the commentary box. Miner was sitting here with his cameras, and we were starting this race.
Oh yes, 26 due
Well,
to the
26 was the first attempt at the start.
Yeah. A couple of minutes later. The race got underway 24 hours ago. Kieran Chadwick was swamped, and I believe that the local
He should get the checkered flag this time.
Kieran Chadwick down to about
Should
6th, I
do.
believe.
Let me know if he does.
I see him at Porsche at the minute.
It was going to be an interesting race.
The
From moment we were
server
going onto the
still-
Mulsanne, straight,
He's
it
not
was
through
very
yet,
different
according to
already,
the server.
as Evan Rice now heading into the Porsche curve.
But the server
For the final
now
time,
shows.
most likely.
He's now
Okay.
finished.
Can be now
It says?
heading-
He's now crossed the line. It's finished.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
now it's
so
red
this
flagged.
is
Yeah,
it. This
it's
is it.
done.
Minimise
He's
Yeah,
marked
this
the
is
first.
it.
Yeah, this is it.
He's now going to be going towards.
Oh,
the
it was a
Ford
good try
chicanes.
though. At
For the
least you're
final
sweating
time.
out 60 seconds of gap out of the guys.
It's been absolutely sensational.
What did it end up
from the
as at the
Vulcan
end?
team.
I ended up with fuel
All 5
to
drivers have done
0.24.
very, very well.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Formation
24
finish?
hours.
Oh,
on Le Mans
gap
win of
24.8.
Vulcan Racing, number 9.
Jesus Christ,
Evan
under
Rice takes
under
the
half a
checkered
minute.
flag.
Yeah,
There we
that
go.
was
Amazing
what a
drive
final
from
stint
the
there,
Vulcan
Jack.
team.
That was
They've done
outrageous.
it, and they've done it in style. 24 seconds down the road, though, it's Jack Keithley in the ACR Zakspeed car is going to come around the Ford chicanes for the final time, and he's going to take the checker flag and be in second position. A great result for them. A fantastic drive considering
stuff
their
there.
circumstances. So they should be very, very proud of the result they have achieved. Third place, it's Saul Sanchez.
Honestly,
He's
you
quite
sweat
some
like
way behind. He's
a
on the
minute out of
straight,
a gap
so he's
just
got
in one
some way to
freaking
go before he
stint. It
gets,
was so damn flying. It was
across the line. But
ridiculous.
we can see
Yeah.
Jack Keithley
And I know I done a
Lorenzo
28. I'm
Keithley,
annoyed
Jaguars,
that I had sectors
posing for
3
photos.
laps in a row to do 28.1,
From
but I
from the
couldn't
turbo
get
to
free
where the Vulcan
clean air to do it.
It's on the main straight.
He's just got
Stuff
something
though.
like that.
Now it's using temp boost, not like 4 boosting like the other guy was earlier. And I'm out of fuel.
Miguel Oliveira on the final lap there.
Good job.
The RGT, of course, has
Oh.
already
Phew.
come
Well,
out
at least we tried, don't we?
celebrating their double P2 finish there.
Oh,
Miguel Oliveira
right.
needs to navigate the Porsche curves just to confirm the victory for
They
Racing
got
Club
lucky. They got very,
and
very
Jones
lucky.
Junior.
Yep.
That's Lamont.
One incident less. Easy win.
Those drivers as well.
The 16 finishers. Fuck.
We didn't
The
have
GT
that.
guys, of course.
Just your incident alone.
Yeah, if we didn't have mine,
some
we would have won
substantial
though.
amount of cars.
Because I was
But,
lapping way quicker than Evan still,
47
even though
Ps at the
Jack was
start,
being
we
absolute
had-
alien.
That makes it, well, 27.
If you
GCs.
guys
We
wish,
had
we could give
41 overall.
interviews on that
And here comes Miguel
Discord.
Oliveira for Racing Club. Across
Must be
the line
sporting to
to
turn
win
up
the
there.
GT
Yeah,
class.
I guess so.
Yeah,
4 hours, 3
will
minutes, 22
do that,
seconds.
yeah.
And well done to them as
So
well.
P2 and P2.
Sensational result.
Yes.
Amazing for them to come to the end of the race.
Could be
and
worse,
won
couldn't it?
The GT
I
class.
think we
Best
both. I
racing
think we
club they
both had
hope
our
for.
fair share.
Could be better.
But,
Well, next time you're gonna sort the strat out, and we're gonna win.
All you can do in these races is put yourself in a position
Yeah,
to win and let
Credit to
scenarios around you
two that
dictate
have
what
made it to the
happens.
end here. It is not an easy thing to do.
Is it commentary box or what is it?
Scheduling and a little tired
Alright,
drivers.
we're heading to there.
It's the cost
They have some forecasts going on there.
Going through all the assignment and not least, keeping their equipment.
Let's meet over there.
And avoiding everything.
Okay, well.
Which is so many things. It's astonishing stuff. As Cyril Sanchez is actually nearly having an incident with the GT there at the end. I think they're both on the in lap. I see.
No, Cyril Sanchez still actually waiting to get to the line.
Yeah. So this is he's trying to get the line as well. That GT ahead of him of who is that? Eric J. Torres. That's the last running car in the race. Actually, they're finally going to navigate him. So we'll cover Cyril Sanchez as well, coming across the line to confirm his P3 in the LMP class for JBM Racing Esports, starting from P5. 8 laps down, but on the podium, flashing the lights, and he's very happy with that one.
He is indeed. I'm just going to see if we can get the Vulcan team.
Yeah, they're probably gonna have winners first. They get in.
The ACR Zakspeed drivers are ready to be interviewed, but we will speak to the race winners first.
You know what I'm like, Michi Fission's not winning. You saw me at Nürburgring, so.
What? Say again.
I was going to say, you saw how it was after that 4-hour Nürburgring race when we didn't win, so I'm not feeling quite like that for this one, but still.
Yeah. I mean...
Hello there.
Greetings. Hello.
Hey.
Good race, fellas. Good race.
Yeah, that was something else.
I'm not gonna lie, I nearly shit myself about 5 times.
Congrats there.
Cheeks were clenched for about the past hour and a half.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I was like literally giving the call saying, all right, if we get this car fixed with Jack swapping on, because we had that glitch that the car ended up doing 296, and when the car was swapped, the damage was gone and back to 300 something.
Yeah, we had the same thing in the night.
Yeah, and we were like, if we can make that glitch work again, we're gonna go. Riz. Hey, Tim.
GG, guys.
Yeah, GG.
Sadly, my race ended before it even... Actually, nah. Yeah, I already DNF for like 19 hours. By the way, Jack, you fucking alien, by the way. The fuck was that last stint, man?
I think he averaged like a 30 in that last stint. That was ridiculous.
I think it's just because you didn't have, the constant interruption of a lap car. It's just easier to keep a rhythm.
It was a lot easier at the end of the race because you had about half the cars that you started with.
Yeah, we finished with 16. And although a decent amount of GTs finished, but only 4 LMPs.
To be fair, before I crashed, I went into like that Zen focus mode, and I was just constantly going quicker and quicker every lap until
very Cody.
I sleep for the Grand Prix. He's gonna wake up for that later.
Oh.
Plus, when I got told for last stint to go for it, then it's like, yeah.
Oh, guys, honestly, I'm awake for 30 hours now. If I close one eye, I'm gonna wake up Monday morning. No joke.
Michi, you need to watch the F1, man, still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning to, but honestly, no. I can't get another fucking win of a motherfucker to be seen in that fatigue. Being fatigued, watching Formula 1 can be a pain in the arse. Seeing somebody
especially
like
if it's
him,
a boring race.
Yeah, and if it's won by a Sebastian Vettel in a Ferrari, that is even more of a pain than rather watch a boring race.
Yeah, with Hamilton winning and Vettel DNFing, that would be the best race.
I doubt.
I disagree.
Yeah, same.
I want a Vettel DNF. Sure about that. Bottas win, Raikkonen win. I would even be okay with a Raikkonen victory Because then if the Vettel DNFs, they cannot sweat the hell out of his fake strategy.
They'll actually have to put Kimi on a good strategy and see what he can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's unlikely. Ross, imagine if we will have a F1 race now in AOR.
Oh, yeah, that'd be terrible. Well, we're in Monza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Fifi in Daytona.
I was so done.
That without the alien in the car, that would have been ridiculously close if we didn't just crash.
I have a name, you know.
How many fucking drive-throughs you got?
Just the one right at the start.
Oh, one.
And then we had like 4 GP crashes.
Stuff. Bullshit.
I can see why they did it, but neither of us got any damage, so it wasn't.
Was it from the rejoin in pit lane?
Yeah, like we pulled out and we sort of like half T-boned them.
Yeah, but again, how did I know their box was right in front of me? It's not like real Formula 1 where you can see your opposition's boxes in front and behind you. And you can exit and enter safely, you know. This is a terrible penalty, frankly. Terrible.
It was really funny catching Evan while still being 3 seconds a lap down.
I guess in that hunter mode.
Yeah, I think me and you both had that in the last stint. It's just full focus. Nothing else really matters.
Yeah, as well. Yeah. Because after I saved the fuel, so we could pretty much do what we just did. Yeah. It's just like just balls to the wall.
Alright, chaps. Go off Vettel, Christopher Kopp. Just as a side note in the chat. I'm sorry guys, surprise, surprise, we're still live on the Simpid on ACR Facebook on like literally for 3 hours.
Oh god.
Hello.
Here you are, surprise, surprise, working under pressure and you just did it. Anyway.
And I'm sorry for my language.
Your language was fine. Like, I heard more desperate things during the 24 hours itself.
Yeah.
Anyway, chaps there on the internet, to bring this to an end, I need to go to bed. We're gonna do the interviews. We're gonna have a little check, but honestly, I know how it was after the last 24-hour Daytona race. The race ended 4 p.m. 4:30, everything was alright. 5 p.m. I was dead sleeping. Like, it just pulled the plug within 5 minutes, and that's probably gonna do the very same thing happening here right now again. So everyone there on the Simpit, on ACR Facebook, on ACR YouTube, on the Twitch, thank you so much for watching. Personal congrats to all of the guys from ACR Zakspeed running in the team, getting a second place in the LMP2 car and in the GTE car, not to forget. So big shout out Ross Woodford, Cody Blanton, Jack Heathley in the LMP2 car, and Bojan Bogdanov, Joao Pitaes, Lawrence Doherty, Max Brackley in the GTE car. Did I miss someone? I hope not. Thanks,
No,
Robert.
I think we've got everyone.
Thanks, Robert, for being around all night. Yeah, thank you everyone for getting setup, communication, and car set up, and everyone being around for the night to not fall asleep. Yeah, that's about it, guys. So, here we go. Have a nice Sunday. Have a nice Formula 1 weekend to watch still the Canadian Grand Prix. And enjoy yourself. So stay tuned to the ACR Zakspeed Facebook. We're going to bring up some resultant pictures from there. Maybe even some memes. There were plenty of memes in the race, I can tell you. So, thanks for watching. Goodbye. This is the Simpit. I'm Michi Hoyer. And we see you out on track.